Very interesting. I see your hobbies are drinking, smoking weed, and all types of ill shit.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective here with another Going Old School Retro Discussions. It's always good to be able to do this and talk about those things from the past that we love so much. Chaos Hoy, what's going on? Citizen 333, what's up, man? Wookiee Supremacy! Let the Wookiee win. What's going on, Wookiee? And son of a red shirt, what is going on? Make sure to share the link out there because YouTube is trying to suppress the guinea pigs because they're a bunch of specious bastards and we can't stand nibble. So joining us today is Jens Petter. What's going on, Jens?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Go old school in that era.
Always a fun time. And also joining us from the flower field, Miss Martin Muses. What's going on, Miss Martin?
Hey, not much. I just got in, did some Pilates.
Nice.
Yep.
What about some yogurt afterwards? That always seems to be a thing that goes with Pilates.
I don't do yogurt. I do a lot of coconut water, though. I'll admit that.
So, we like to do this because we like to have some fun because you know what? If you look around at the news and everything that's going on right now, and especially with some of these franchises that are constantly getting rebooted, it's disgusting. It gets us irritated. We don't even want to look at it 90% of the time because we know what's going on, Snowdub. We know that it's just going to be depressing to look at. Mm-hmm. So we get together and we talk about stuff from the past because that's fun. That's something that most of us can enjoy and most of us can agree upon. So before we get started here, I do want to talk about one other thing real quick, just a small opener. I was actually sitting there thinking the other day about all these old places that used to sell toys back in the day. I was thinking about like KB Toys. I was thinking about Lionel Kitty City. And I was thinking about Toys R Us. And we didn't even lose Toys R Us all that long ago, but they are starting to come back. And I know that they opened one in New York City and they opened another one somewhere else. And I can't remember where it is. Do either of you, did you have a favorite place that you went for toys? I mean, I heard that there was another one called Toy World. We didn't have that on the East Coast where I'm at.
Well, I had a weird childhood because a lot of my childhood when I would be getting toys, it was over in Ireland. So they had stores over there that I would go to get those kinds of things. And of course, a lot of what was going on when you were a little kid back in the 80s, you had to wait till Santa Claus came or your birthday. Maybe money wasn't just as easy maybe as it seems nowadays. And so it was always a real special thing. Or going to the toy store was something special. But in America, Toys R Us is the one I remember. That's where I got all my toys as an adult.
And they had such a huge collection. I mean, much later on, they started incorporating a lot of stuff that, as far as I was concerned, really wasn't toys. I think they got a bit ridiculous towards the end, and I think that bloat is probably what actually helped bring that company down more than Walmart or any of these other places. Mm-hmm. I think it was the bloat, and unfortunately, a lot of those big toy stores, they had bloat. I mean, Kitty City was the same way. They had such humongous bloat near the end, and then they couldn't compete with Toys R Us that they just went out of business.
Yeah.
How about you, Jens? Did you have any particular toy store that you liked to go to?
Well, we did get a Toys R Us in the UK, but it wasn't until very late, more early 90s, I'd say. And so, and until I was 15, and a Toys R Us brand store got opened, it used to be at this place where my nana used to go called Bins. It sounded crap, but it was House of Fraser department store, and it was called Bins, probably because it made it seem more cheaper or whatever. But there used to be 3 or 4 floors, and you'd have clothes section on one floor, household goods on one floor, and then you'd have toys on like the top floor and that. And yeah, that's where like I'd go, and yeah, that's where I bought all my He-Man figures because yeah, they had like a display sort of shelf just full of He-Man stuff and that. And there was He-Man, Action Man, and then you'd have your Barbies and Strawberry Shortcake. But yeah.
Well, you know what? You're mentioning the display cases, and I think that's actually one of the things that's lost on a lot of these companies that consider themselves toy retailers now, like Walmart and Target and everything, is that they never really had the big displays like Toys R Us or even KB Toy Store had. Like they would have those big display boxes out front with a bunch of figures. Sometimes they might even have sceneries for all the figures to be in. And that was another thing. I think it made a lot of those big toy stores special because they had these big displays that would open up a kid's imagination. Like, look what I could do with those figures if I got those figures.
Yeah, the one much sort of displays much, because like we'd have like little toy shops and all where, but it'd be one of them where they have to order stuff in because sometimes they wouldn't have big sort of stocks or whatever. So,
well, yeah, that was the thing with like a lot of the smaller places. They might not have had the stock. I remember Woolworths was also like that. Woolworths had like a decent assortment of toys, but they never had the big stock that say Toys R Us or Kitty City or some of these other ones had. So.
I don't know if they over there in England at all, or in UK. I'm not sure where you are, but in Ireland, the store was Dunn's Stores. I know it was an Irish store, so maybe it didn't get over there on St. Patrick's.
Yeah, it might have come over here, but it might have changed the name.
Yeah. So that'd be a thing, and it's very much the way he would say. And also, it was more of an event. I just remember it just being such an event if you did get to go into those stores. It was I can't describe it in any other words than saying it was just something that was very special, like almost like what you see in that Christmas Story, the way those kids would be sitting there looking in the display of looking at their BB guns. That's the way it was. Yeah,
you look forward to it, and I think that's something that's lost with a lot of these newer stores. What's going on, Bone? Welcome. Parrothead is also in the house. What's going on, Parrothead? And Kip Ellis, hello there. We'd end up in Argos. Castaway, he says, yeah, I remember Toys R Us. And Wookiee Supremacy says, I live in a small town growing up. There was a small mom and pop store called Toyland. That's where I got all my Star Wars stuff for the original trilogy. And Son of a Red Shirt says, is there a particular toy store that I'm fond of? Do you guys have the discount adult warehouse superstore chain in your neighborhood?
Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't. What's up, Curtis?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Well, there is one, I think, in Florida called Adam and Eve that you see sometimes. But no, it's not for kids. No. Yes, blasphemous as well as interesting.
You know,
talk
about Argos, though. I used to, because you'd get the magazine and it was basically like a catalogue, and so you could show like your parents, oh yeah, look, I want that, and so then there was something you could nag them with and show them with the pictures, which was pretty good with Argos.
Yeah, yeah, it was good propaganda, and the comics they used to do those too, like in Mandy magazine. That was a girls' one I used to read. Little doggies and things, fun times.
Yeah, I remember the Mandy comics and that. You used to always get like plastic jewelry and that with it.
Yes, and it was incredibly girly. So maybe you didn't do that.
No, but it was one of them where like when I was getting the Beano or whatever.
The Beano,
or the dandy or what, you'd like see like what, and I used to always like, because I was one of these people who like to see what was on offer in that. So I'd look, oh yeah, I could get me a nice little bracelet and some earrings.
Well, you who knows? No judgment here. No judgment here.
Yeah. Like that. But no, I'd rather go for the Beano and the badge or whatever.
Yeah.
I think comic books actually helped a lot of these toy companies. I mean, I know they helped Transformers and they helped G.I. Joe as well.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for comic books early on, I'm not sure a lot of those toys would have even sold. I remember there were certain things initially, I only seen them in the pages of comic books as advertisement. And yeah, Wookie, I see what you say there. Correction, I got my first Star Wars figures from Sears. And Son of a Red Shirt also says Samsung, Sears, and the Eaton Center in Toronto had the best toy department type of stores that did huge, elaborate window displays at Christmas, Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. And I remember there were certain ones where they would have those big, giant displays all the time.
Especially at Christmas, as I say, because they knew, oh, yeah, this is when the kids will be buying, well, or the parents will be buying the kids the toys.
Yeah. Amazon fecked up all of that. Things like Amazon. Kids can go online and have their parents order it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a bit of a problem. But you know what? Here's one thing I will say, and I don't want to get Curtis's thoughts on this. But one thing I will say is that certain sites like eBay and Amazon, they do give you the ability to pick up figures that you otherwise can't pick up in the retail stores right now. Because when I go out looking for certain figures, and I don't care if it's He-Man, I don't care if it's Transformers, no matter what it is, when I go out to the store, 9 times out of 10, those shelves are empty. Because you get these guys that go out there and basically they just take everything. So they could sell it themselves. Yeah, they're what they call toy scalpers. They go there early when the shelves are filled up. They steal everything that's in good shape, and then they take it home and then they put it on the internet and sell it. So sometimes places like eBay, like I know Hasbro in particular, they have their own store where I could go on there and I could buy Transformer toys directly from them, as opposed to driving myself nuts going out to all these different stores trying to look for the figures that I wanted in my collection. So,
yeah.
Zaire's. I seem to vaguely remember Zaire's. Yeah, Amazon, Costco, Walmart. Yep. And Kool-Aid and vodka. Hello there.
Yeah, I remember.
So, let's get Curtis to weigh in real quick, Jens. Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Amazon, but I see your problem and I understand that issue, but I really don't know what to add to it.
Well, did you have a particular toy store that you went to when you were younger, or?
There was always this one place. It's too far, I always had that problem where parents wouldn't drive me. And I was always like, all right, well, when I have a car, I'm going to drive everywhere and never going to have to be slowed down at that point. And, time hits and, you don't want to go anywhere anymore because my car just broke down. Last thing I want to do is drive all over the place. But yeah, we had this one store and never would drive me there. Every now and then I'd go there and everything was always too expensive. It was like a little comic store with like Pokemon cards and all that stuff, little store. It was a little individually owned store for like cards and just trading stuff. But I never got a lot of experience out of it because it was always one of those places where my parents perceived it as you can go other places where it's cheaper. Yeah.
I remember Kate, you said it reminded me like of this like Boyses, and it used to do sort of like reduce sort of like toys and that, and you used to get some good bargains or whatever in that, and like some like crazy toys where the probably just like bought them and that, and not knowing if they'll sell or not, but it's like, right, we'll put them on the shelves, and if they don't sell, we'll take them off after a month. But if they do sell, we're all right in that. And yeah, there's some like crazy sort of toys and that, cause like more like joke toys. Because you remember and I know everyone will, them sticky squid things that you'd throw on the window.
Oh yeah. Usually they came out of the bubblegum machines.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The little hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hands.
Yeah, they had the sticky hands. They had the squid or octopus. I think they were octopus. They had the octopus that you would get out of those machines. Then they did a couple other ones. They did like aliens. I think they had like something that looked like a snake or a worm as well. They had a bunch of different weird ones at one point.
Yeah, I've seen them now where they've got like a little dude sort of like standing like in a H sort of position with his hands up, sort of thing. And there's like little sticky things on the hands and feet, and so it sort of like goes down, sort of like doing backflips.
Yeah, loads of fun.
Soul Assassin, what's going on? Soul Assassin says, I've caught a few toy scalpers before. They're assholes. Son of a red shirt. Because, Bone had said, I remember a store called Zares. They had a lot of J.I. Joes and Transformer toys. I know he meant G.I. Joes, but so Son of Red said that J.I. Joe sounds like a real-life Taiwanese knockoff G.I. Joe toy, absolutely covered from head to toe in lead paint. Comes with an M16 rifle and was packed in asbestos. I have at least two. Wookie says, I talked to the toy guy at our Walmart. He said there was a few guys who he knew when the new shipments come in, they would wipe certain things out. Yep. Snow Dub KB was my place to go. Yeah, you know what? I love KB toys too, because they would actually get like the discounts from Toys R Us and Kitty City, like even back then when Kitty City was still around the same time, and they would get them discount because they had to move the stock out of those stores. So KB would actually get those on discount, put them in their store for a much lower price. And Sherry, hello, welcome. But was there anything else that you guys remember about those toy stores? I mean, I remember once more of the modern stuff started coming into the stores, that seemed to actually be a bit of the decline at one point, like especially when video games came in and they dedicated so much space to video games and not as much to like action figures and other things that the kids like to play with. That's when it seemed like it started going downhill.
Yeah, well, it's one of them where it's a craze, isn't it, sort of thing, where the kids went into the more computer craze. And I can see why I love, because with computer games, you can, like, amuse yourself by, like, playing against the computer, where with toys, either you have to, like, amuse yourself by hitting a ball against the wall or get a friend. And so, yeah, it's more convenient with the computers. But I remember though, like, and this is going to be like one of them where I don't think you'll be seeing many, but back in the 80s where they used to have the Action Men figures and G.I. Joe figures for the American audience and that, we used to like go past this toy shop that it was just a little toy shop, and so to get attraction more, it would have a nice display of Action Men in the or G.I. Joe figures in the shop frontware. And I remember the World War II ones, and like, yeah, like today, it like I want my kid, because it's just like war memorabilia, Action Men, but someone would probably get it shut down for being like
insensitive.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, well, my last memory of something that was always magical that we used to do around Christmas time, because we would sometimes fly over to London, and understand when you're in Cork, Ireland, that's like an hour if you just hop on a plane and you're there. Harrods, their toy floor, it was like on the top, and it was the entire floor. That was always magical.
Yeah. Because as I said, like we had like a smaller version in Hull called Bins. It was basically like a mini version of Harrods, where they'd have Christmas time they'd have like a Santa's grotto.
Yeah, and it was just magic. Because you would just go up, and it was just they had like the best toys, and they would also have these little displays where you could like try out the toys. I don't remember if they had those in America because I wasn't little enough, but did they ever do that here, Tommy? Like where you then not only did they have toys, you could like test play them.
Well, they did have a few places that did stuff like that, but usually it wasn't for like, say, action figures or anything like that. It would usually be like Legos, or maybe they would have like some kind of mini train set. It would be stuff like that for the most part. Like you wouldn't see like Nerf guns or anything like that sitting out that you could try.
Yeah. But
like,
it just brings, it's just so magical. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to say, but some of the packaging and all has it so you can try it out, where it's like press this or that.
Oh, yeah, that was something that was definitely added later on. I mean, one thing they always did in most stores, they usually have those big giant bins with all the balls that kids would always wind up taking out and playing with. And they did that on purpose. They wanted to get the kids in there having a little bit of fun, because they knew if the kids were having fun, the parents were more than likely going to wind up buying something. Or what's going on? Creepy crawlers.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I think it was one of them and all. Like my nana knew, like if she took me up there, she had to get me some, or else I'd be screaming for some as I'm getting like dragged to the lift.
Wookie's got a question for you. Aren't dumpsters called bins in Europe? Great name for a store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't shop at a store called Dumpsters.
Yeah. And now I don't know if this is just a girl thing, though, gentlemen. It wasn't necessarily a toy store, but it was a thing, especially if you didn't have tons of money or something, that people would make you toys. Like your mom or your grandmother would just knit you something or crochet. My mom did macrame. Like my mom made us a Dagobah. She just made it out of cardboard and stuff and painted it. That, you know, it wasn't always stuff we went and bought. People would actually home make the toys. And those were also amazing.
Yeah,
you would get those people that would have like boots out at flea markets, or maybe they would have like a neighborhood like yard sale type of thing where they'd be selling stuff around Christmas time. Yeah. I remember there was this one guy in particular. He used to do a big, giant, extravagant light display every Christmas. And he would have it up for about a month and a half or so, because he would start like just as, you know, just right around like Thanksgiving time. So he would leave it up. I mean, technically, you know, because he would leave it up past Christmas right into the New Year. Mm-hmm. And he did such an extravagant display that it cost him so much money that he wound up doing his garage up to make it look like Santa's workshop. And he started selling odds and ends, like whether it was craft stuff or some of the cheaper stuff that you would see schools going around selling around the holidays, like the erasers and other weird stuff like that. He started doing stuff like that. But yeah, they had a lot of this stuff that was handmade, like whether it was made out of popsicle sticks or whether, you know, it was something that was knitted together, like you're saying, like a crochet piece. And that was something that he did there. And like I said, I remember seeing it out at the flea markets too. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Well,
fire sale.
But my nana, when she was quite old in that, like, got to get this group meeting where they just knit like or sew up like teddies and all this. And yeah, I was about 10 in that when she was doing this. So like I want to like bust with them, but like yeah, she'd make me and she'd be all like, oh yeah, I can make you this, and then I'd be like, oh yeah. So, and you know, I'd put them on like a sort of shelf or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I used to make my own little toys and make clothes for my own Barbies, you know, because I still knit and crochet, but that's what you would do as a kid too. And sometimes that would be magical, is like you made your own toys yourself.
And like, I didn't need to do this because like I got a goat cart bought for me, but like soapbox carts as like where you just get some pram wheels, some wood, and then like a bit of string, but and have a go-kart. But thingy, what we used to do and all, like although I didn't do it much, but in the winter time to get a sledge you'd get like a plastic barrier thing that the council would put up to stop like you going somewhere that they're just like 6 foot sort of long piece of plastic, but you bend them in half and you'd like use it like a jet ski snowboard.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
fun times.
I wanted to say how I got this blanket somebody made for me. I can't even remember who it was, but I remember I was like disappointed because I was so young. And I wanted toys, but then my grandma came up to me and said, "Oh, she made that. She's really good at making blankets. This one's really special." And I remember for some reason that I believed that, and I've always kept that blanket. It's just like always been special to me because of that. And had she not said that, though, I wouldn't have appreciated it because I was too young to understand. But yeah, that was just what reminded me of that, because I probably wouldn't even remembered that somebody told me that, and that's why I linked it in my head. Like, oh, this is a special blanket. It was all colorful and stuff, but I still like it. Every time I used it, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a good blanket. Like, this is really soft. I like worked it up in my mind.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, and my strawberry shortcakes, you see, I remember those as well, just having their own little village. And actually, even though it's evil, the Disney store wasn't so bad when it finally came around, like back in the early 90s.
Well, back to strawberry shortcake though, right?
Mhm.
This is one of them weird toys where it smells of strawberries, because that was the gimmick of strawberry shortcakes.
Oh, yeah. And then
Strawberry.
blueberry and all of them. Yeah, they all had different smells.
Yeah,
And I had a
'cause
little doll. My grandmother made me a doll of her.
Yeah, because I smelled like a strawberry shortcake, when like I was looking for my He-Man and that, because the advert.
Jens, don't lie. You know what it smells like because you had them. You
Oh.
had them.
It's like my sister had them. Yeah.
Well, I had them, but in the shop where I didn't have to buy them, I could just I could just squeeze and cuddle her there.
I could see a little Jens right now with a tear rolling down his eye, like, strawberry shortcake, I'd so take you home, but I don't want to be branded as soy.
Yeah, I was pretty good that He-Man didn't smell of strawberries, because I like strawberries. Yeah, it's like, how come shortcake smells of strawberries?
Go ahead, Joe Beck. Go ahead.
Pete, dudes, okay. Dudes, us guys get a pass. Okay, we get a pass when it comes to strawberry shortcake and the Care Bears, okay?
Oh, for no reason whatsoever, right, Shellback?
Well, no. Yeah, no, Shabbat, we don't get a pass. We just get dudes who don't give us as much grief. They know they like the Care Bears.
Real men wear pink and have Care Bears, okay? God.
Well, yeah, they must have a good 6-pack though to pull that off.
Son of a Red Shirt says, now if kids want to go outside and play until dark, they have to download the game as well as all the mods and add-ons. I heard the fresh air packs on sale for $7.95. And really, it kind of is that way to a degree. Like, do kids even really understand what it's like being out after dark anymore?
I don't know.
Well, no, they're not allowed to because too many perverts are out there.
Yeah.
Being out after dark. What about being outside during the day?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. The only time they actually go out is freaking Halloween, and they should do it more often because it's loads of fun.
They were coming down on that a bit, trying to tell kids not to go out. I remember when I was up north, they were telling kids not to go out in Jersey.
That makes sense too. It's crazy, but yeah, we live in a totally different world.
It really is a shame.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably still the same, but it's like more opportunities now though with the technology.
Yeah, you son of a red shirt. You know what? It wasn't just kids that wound up getting into Cabbage Patch. My mother actually had bought a couple Cabbage Patch dolls. So,
as I say, I made like a Cabbage Patch doll thing, but I was going to do it into the garbage pail because it was like this sewing set where it just give you all the patterns and that where you just cut it out and it directions on like where to sew what and what to put in where. I'll say I'll have to get it out one time. I'm going to have to get it out just to show people.
Yeah, Wookie says, I have 3 of my sister's old strawberry shortcake figurines. They're made like the old Smurf figurines, and they still have a scent after decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do.
That's crazy.
This planet is the same. The people have changed. Most definitely. I mean, usually it is that way. I mean, the planet's changed a little bit. It doesn't look exactly the same as it did, say, even just the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look throughout history, the way like most cities have like overdeveloped, nothing quite looks or smells exactly the same as it did back then. Machini, what's going on, Machini? Hey, if you haven't subbed to a lot of these guys on the panel, make sure that you sub to them. Also, make sure you guys put your own links in the chat. If you have a wrench, make sure you drop some links. I know Wookie has a wrench. I'm pretty sure Machini has a wrench. Be sure to drop your links in the chat. Make sure, everybody, that you check them out if you already haven't. But, I mean, talking about these old toy stores is a good opener, but I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what I actually wanted to talk about today, because I wanted a good laugh. Because, like I said, there's too many things going on with a lot of these movies and shows that it's disgusting. I mean, you could talk about like the Superman nonsense that's going on. What is it? The Wheel in Time, the 007. There's so many things that you could sit there and talk about. Like, why even bother? I just want to have a laugh at a very funny movie and a series, basically a franchise that I remember when I was, much younger. So his first appearance in Adventures in Fear, number 19 in December of 1973, and eventually his own self-titled comic book, created by writer Steve Gerber and artist Val Merrick. The adventures of this sentient duck from the planet Duck World, snatched from his planet and dropped on Earth by unseen powers, has entertained fans for generations. Well, yeah, I don't know if you guys knew this one or not. It entertained a lot of people, but one company was not entertained by it.
Oh.
Any clue who this company might be?
Disney?
Exactly. In 1977, Disney actually contacted Marvel over copyright infringement, claiming Howard the Duck looked too much like Donald Duck. So back then, Marvel wasn't like they are now under the control of Disney. So Marvel's answer was to just put pants on Howard the Duck. That's how you get back at Disney.
It wasn't even the same. I mean, Donald Duck has a freaking sailor outfit on, basically. So what's? I mean,
I could see they could see similarities because
what? They're both white. Oh yeah. All white ducks look alike. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Racist.
yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, I could see where Disney would be like, oh yeah, it does look like Donald, but I say once I put the pants on him though.
Yeah, so I mean that's what they had to do. So you go from there to 1986. So in conjunction with both Lucasfilm and Universal, with a $30 to $37 million budget and a box office of only $38 million, unfortunately, the Howard the Duck movie was a disaster. It was an absolute flop. And it's actually surprising that he wound up still getting love much later on. Like, he got some love in the Marvel Zombie series.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on eventually to appear briefly in Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, as well as Ultimate Spider-Man, and apparently a very brief What If series appearance as well. Now,
Yeah.
I don't watch Disney and the What If, and then Disney bought Marvel and destroyed it further. Games, movies, Castlevania or us. What's going on? Thank you for coming. There's a pet duck who guards my neighbor's driveway. White ducks look alike. Shellback is killing me. So, do you guys remember this franchise at all? The Howard the Duck?
Oh, I
yeah.
remember the movie. I didn't
yeah,
participate in the franchise part of it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It was one of them where I'd heard nothing about Howard the Duck until we were like, oh, there's a film getting released called Howard the Duck. It's like, oh yeah, what's it about? It's about a duck called Howard who saves the world. I'm like, all right. I say, I watched what. It's one of them where I can remember bits of it in that, and like Howard the Duck sort of just basically being a badass duck in it, and obviously being a bit sort of a fish out of water situation, and like yeah, it was a bit crazy. Like he sort of like gets off with a human woman in it, but like. Yeah.
Don't give too much away, Jens. What's going on, DBS? Shellback? I know you know about Howard, right?
Yeah, I actually have a special edition DVD at home. So yeah.
What about you, Kurt?
I didn't really. I didn't really know.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the references.
Go ahead, Shellback.
I was just gonna say I didn't have any comics or anything, but
Okay.
I've definitely seen the movie more than once.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I always prepare a clip for every main topic that we have. And Curtis, you're not that familiar with it, you said?
I'm familiar with it. I've seen. Okay, I'm not muted. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about it, and yeah, I pretty much know the disaster that's about to happen.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to play this short little clip for anybody who may be not that familiar with Howard. So
he's 27 years old, single but searching. Favorite sports, windsurfing and Aikido. Favorite pastimes, cigars and sex.
No one laughs at a master of quack fu.
That's a duck.
Although I have developed a greater appreciation for the female version of the human anatomy.
Gross. You know what they say? You're out of luck until you've gone duck.
So, if anybody didn't remember Howard, I'm sure you're going to remember him now, especially with some of the more modern iterations of him. So, thoughts?
Well, I remember when it came out, and I thought, as about a 10-year-old that I was, that it was sick and messed up. I was like, what? I was disturbed, and I didn't even finish it.
I first watched it in that, and it was, as you say, a bit disturbing in that. But then you saw some female duck breast, and then I was like, "Oh, this is! I've got to see the end of this film." This is at the start of the film. Well, that's because I was a bit of a person who didn't mind seeing crazy action stuff. but I was about like 12 or something when it came out.
Yeah, Shellback, where's your Howard the Turtle? And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, this was one of those movies. It was kind of goofy. I don't think it really portrayed Howard the same way as he was in the comic books, but that was okay. That was okay. I you know what? It wasn't a successful movie, not even in the least. You know, with an up to 30, you know, what was it? What is it? 37 million budget and only breaking 38 at the box office. That is a flop. That is a terrible flop. But it was still a fun movie. Like a lot of the movies that were in the 80s, they were just fun. They were goofy fun. And I think that's one thing that we sorely are missing in a lot of these movies today. I think they did it like to a degree with Guardians of the Galaxy, but a lot of the other films, no. Big misses. Big misses. Jason Lee Tucker, what's going on? Welcome.
Well, I think and all, back in the 80s when it got released, as I say, I was about 12 when it came out because it was 87-ish time, wasn't it? I think it got released. But people back then, it would have been crazy to some people. They'd been like, oh, a duck with a woman and saving the world against them. I even forget what the bad dude did apart from his like wanting to like kill Howard and that. But but today when you see like grown women grinding on ducks, it like yeah.
Yeah, I know. It kind of like if you take it in that context, you're just ruining it. And God damn it, Jens.
Yeah.
Never bring that stuff up. Nobody wants to talk about that woman grinding on that duck.
Well, all I'm saying is like from 1980 to like 2020 it's come a long way for duck kind, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, yes, this in 333. Yeah, Howard the Duck was Lucasfilm and Universal. It's kind of crazy that they had two studios actually join up to do that, but yeah. Curtis, thank you for dropping those links in there too.
No problem.
For the people in the chat.
Yes.
I didn't know there was a comic, only familiar with the movie. Yeah, the comic came out very early. Like I said, the first one was printed in Adventures of Fear in 1973. And he still has a comic book going. I think they just rebooted it recently, so he's the first What If with his own comic. I know he was in, basically. He was in a couple of the old What If comics, and he did have a What If in one of his comics. His very first appearance was with Red Sonja, of all people. I don't know if you all caught that when I put the slide on. The first comic still was him with Red Sonja. That was actually issue number 1.
Yeah, I was looking at Howard.
I think it's kind of funny just on principle alone, like how ridiculous that movie is. Like, I'm glad it's made because of that. You know, something you wouldn't see made today. Even if it is a flop, it's still like unique in its failure.
I think it could be made today because even though Howard is white, he's a duck. And even though he's male, he's a duck, and so
yeah, but he's part of the patriarchy.
Yeah, but he's a duck though.
What's up, Yvette?
He's a duck, and like ducks get eaten, don't they? And that, so the discrimination is had to get to
What's up, Keck?
being in the movies. He should definitely get a reboot.
Well, I think that if they do him more like they started to introduce them in the Guardians of the Galaxies, they might have something there. But I just don't see Disney doing that. I mean, look what they want to do with Deadpool. They want to make Deadpool PG-13, or they already are making Deadpool PG-13.
Yeah, yeah. True. It would be one of them where because Howard the Duck is crazy, like far out stuff and that, and so yeah, they would try and tame it down that much that it'd lose its craziness.
From what I remember, Awesome One, Howard the Duck was definitely first. Spider Pig didn't come out until much later on, if I remember correctly. I really don't remember Spider Pig. Like, it was actually, I want to say it was probably sometime in the early 80s when Spider Pig showed up. Because it was the same time, there was another little comic. It was a goofy comic, and this is one of the things that was happening a lot of the comics at the time, is they had these goofy characters, and one of them was called Gru the Wanderer. It was basically a mock of Conan. It was this goofy barbarian guy. He was kind of portly looking, who just like got into all kinds of misadventures. And I think that was right around the same time as what was that? Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider Ham.
Yeah.
Spider Pig was actually from the Simpsons.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I remember. Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does.
Patriarchy.
Man, there. Are you cereal? Are you cereals?
He's super cereal.
Ah.
Yeah, Gru. Gru was hilarious.
Yeah,
but
I looked it up. That's pretty cool. I like it. The concept. How it's all drawn and everything, like kind of goofy.
Mm-hmm. And that was the charm to it. That was the charm. Michael Brett, what's going on? Hope that Marvel knows how to handle character like Moon Knight. Yeah, I know they don't. They've proven over and over again. Marvel doesn't know how to do anything under Disney.
They'll make Moon Knight into a vegan who doesn't like going out at night.
A vegan or a soy boy?
It's nearly the same.
I know you want to go. I know you want to go there.
You say vegans eat a lot of soy. They admit it themselves. I love it.
So, as far as this movie, as far as like a comedy, I like this one. As far as that, now if you're talking about trying to be more like the character from the comic, they kind of missed it there. But yeah, as like a comedy movie, I thought it was good. What you got, Shellback?
Oh, I think it's it's definitely a cult classic now. You know, I mean, it's like you say, you know, it's one of those movies that, you know, if you just want to like sit there and chuckle, you know, you'll put in Howard the Duck, you know, and yeah, I mean, it's got duck boobs and quack foo. What else do you want? You know?
Yeah. You know, there's one thing I didn't really realize at the time. The main guy, the guy who plays like the main villain, pretty much, and he's the one that transforms in that big giant alien. He was also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as Rooney.
Jeffrey something. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah. Did you guys know that he apparently is a convicted pedophile?
What?
No.
Yeah. I found that out because I always thought he was a little bit creepy.
Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. That is weird.
I don't know why he was so creepy.
Holy shit.
The alien made him do it.
What's up, Luffy is God. The writer for the Blade movie is the same man who created Snowflake and Safe Space. Blade is doomed. Oh, no.
Yeah. And talk about gorillas being vegans. Well, that's how they lost half their fucking forest. Just got
Michael Brandt, I've heard about it. I'm not getting it because I won't touch Disney.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch it with a 30-foot pole. I wouldn't touch it with somebody else's hands. I wouldn't touch it with somebody I can't stand with their genitalia.
Yeah, but female She-Hulk and all, right? I reckon everyone who knows about She-Hulk is going to be expecting some good-looking lass who's trimmed a bit to be like going around saying some fancy quip and slapping a few sort of bad guys around. But it's probably just going to be some roided up dude with a wig on, just smashing through buildings like the Hulk.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently that that video game, that She-Hulk video game, got a lot of awards.
I was never into She-Hulk because I always
Yeah.
thought She-Hulk was for women.
I mean, the only thing is, they didn't call it, the video game She-Hulk. They called it The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Nice. But as far as Howard is concerned, if it was going to be done right, like those few small glimpses that we got in the end of Guardians, if they did it in that vein, would you guys be interested in seeing that?
Oh yeah, with the proper writers and the proper director and the proper, we're not going to pander to anyone. We're just going to make a duck kick some ass with witty quips. Then yeah,
maybe.
Shellback, are you like scratching your turtle paws on the mic or something? What was going on there?
You found out.
I didn't think my microphone was. I didn't think my microphone was that good.
It sounds like a turtle scratching on a cage.
No,
or something.
well, as you know, I have to. I don't have internet at the house currently, so I either have to go to my local, public library or come down to the office of my apartment complex, and so I'm out on the patio, and I'm just kind of like scooting all the pine needles off the concrete. So that's what you were hearing. So. But like I said, I didn't think the microphone was that good. So apologies.
Oh, RR, yeah. Howard done right with a hard R rating is the only way to make the film.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Could you imagine?
To get Duck Bull back in, you're gonna have to do a triple.
Oh God, just imagine if they were a little bit more free with how they did the movies when Howard the Duck came out. What they might have showed. You wouldn't have gotten a shadow, two shadows kissing.
Oh, no. Palpatine style. No. I can't.
Actually, they actually showed him kissing at least once.
Well,
as
and it wasn't the shadow.
When they were showing him kissing the very first time, that's when they kind of cut to the shadow scene.
Yeah. And they practically do it because the next day they're all like, get a pregnancy test.
What's funny is back then, like furries weren't even really a thing back then, So I mean, it seems today that it would be really popular if they come out with Howard the Duck.
No, actually, Citizen, no, I wouldn't. I don't like the concept of what they've done with that show, and I have no desire to see it. I mean, I realize that, some people like it. Me, I'm not into it. I know me and Shellback have had this discussion, and Shellback knows I will not move on that Disney stuff.
I know you don't like The Mandalorian, but what about The Mandarin?
I didn't like that movie version. I like the original in the comic. The comic was interesting. The movie one, a little bit less than desirable to me. Oh no, not the tubing.
No.
Never go tubing. See, that takes the fun out of summer because now you can no longer go tubing without thinking about Jeffrey tubing. That's horrible. Hey, you guys want to go tubing? No, that's all right. I'm turning off my social media sites. No. Miss Martin, did you have anything more you want to add on with Howard?
I think I just pretty much said it all. I just found it all just so wrong on every possible level. I mean, I would rather watch season 2 of The Mandalorian backwards than watch anything of Howard the Duck ever again. I will appreciate it as a cultural phenomenon. I will give it that. But no. I'm not into quacking.
Well, you never know unless you try it. I mean, did you not hear what he said in the end of that clip? Once you go duck, you don't go back.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm not suggesting you wind up like that girl that was on Twitter, like grinding a poor duck on the ground or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, maybe like just pet a duck in the park or something. And like baby steps. Yep, I got issues. It's not my fault. Citizen 333, Tommy, I've gotten a lot of shit for liking The Mandalorian, but as a lifelong Star Wars fan, I can honestly say I like it. You know what? And I never come down on anybody. If that's what you like it. Me personally, I don't like it because I don't like what they've done with the characters and with the stories. To me, knowing what I know about the history of, besides the EU, what the original intention of George Lucas was for most of the Star Wars franchise, I cannot in good faith watch anything from Disney. Plus, I just don't like the way Disney operates.
I can vouch for season 1, episodes 1 through 3, and like 7, 8, whatever the last few were. But then season 2, it's okay, but it seriously has a drop off in quality, in my opinion. There's still good moments, but there's a huge drop, and that's what I hate seeing. Like the first 1, 2, and 3, the quality is it's just higher.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, and most people don't give people a crap. Everyone I know says, yeah, if you like it, you like it. But nothing's above criticism, and I think that there's lots to say about what it did to the lore, and I think there is a perception out there that somehow that's showing that Disney is changing, or that they're changing up. They're going to erase the sequel trilogy and all that. It's like, no, this sits very well within Disney Star Wars. But if that floats to someone's boat, I mean, Jeannie Mac, float away. I like Twilight, and I'm not ashamed. So, go for it.
I feel like they suckered me, though, because they like lured me in with a nice grit, and then they changed it all to this happy, like Toy Story vibe, pretty colors in comparison to what I was getting initially.
You mean you didn't want them to start skipping and singing songs? They didn't get that bad.
It didn't get that bad, but I just felt like I was noticing it way too much, the difference in quality. Everything just changed. They suckered me. They lured me in with it. And then, but there's still moments where I'm like, you know what, that was cool. Like, especially the last episode of season 1 with all the droid scenes. That was like some of my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, and I've made Baby Yodas for people because they were so stupid they didn't see what they had on their hands, and so Christmas comes around, and everyone's like, "I want to buy a Baby Yoda," and there are none, and I'm like, "Well, I'll make you one." So I made a gazillion little Baby Yodas for people. Or Gru.
Teresa, you got a question here from Soul Assassin.
Team Edward or Team Jacob? Oh, Team Edward.
Yes.
Anyone that was Team Jacob was deluding themselves. It was always Edward.
Because he's a good actor.
Hey, at least Jacob didn't sparkle.
But no, he didn't sparkle. He only crushed on his girl. the woman he wanted to be his girlfriend, he crushed on her baby. Jacob's a pervert.
Well, talk about mask and action. Back to that. Mandalorian. That's what I loved about Mandalorian. It was masculine action. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but yeah, it's going to be good because as Citizen 333 did say, well, the lifeless soul of Disney, the Mandalorian is like a shining light in a pile of like soy SJW.
All the Bill Burr stuff is great.
Yeah, but
I was entertained
there's a huge problem with that, though, Jens. You're saying like masculine masculine entertainment, no soy, but the guy who plays the Mandalorian himself is so soy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but not as
He's
a Mandalorian.
it.
Not as a Mandalorian, though. Off screen, yeah, he is. Off screen, he's not going to do anything like what the Mandalorian on screen. He's masculine.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
Hey, look at Luke Skywalker. Look at Mark Hamill. Okay, Mark Hamill's Twitter is a freaking dumpster fire, in my opinion. Okay,
He's an ass.
I still love Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do get that, and I don't really fault you guys for liking it. I can't like it for my reasons, and you know what? I mean, I'm not saying that my reasons for not liking it are any better than yours, but I see something as a whole. I see something from where it came and how Disney threw all that out the window, and I cannot get on board with that. I just can't. And you know what? Like they said, Miss Martin even said it. Like all roads lead back to the sequels.
I think you would like 1, 2, 3 because it is that origin story that you like, but after that you'd hate it easily.
Well, it became the Baby Yoda show. It turned into the Muppets.
I personally think you would like it, but I understand what you're saying. Like you just don't. I don't think you want to touch it.
No, that's the problem. I mean, I have very strong convictions when it comes to stuff like that. When I say I can't stand Disney and I don't want to support them at all, I stick with that. There's another old company I haven't supported them, and God, over 20. It's got to be at least 15 years. At least 15 years. I have not given a single dime to Hershey.
Oh, their chocolate sucks anyways.
Well, you know what the problem was is they were doing this thing where Hershey used to bring people over on the student exchange program. So they would basically work in Hershey, at either the factory or they would work in their park. So they brought these people over, student exchange. They thought they're coming to America as part of student exchange. They're going to get an education. They're going to be able to work in the factory. They're going to have a place to stay, and they're going to make a little bit of money. And that's what Hershey made it seem like. All of a sudden, they got over and they're working in the factory or whatever they're doing. Well, Hershey put them up in their own apartment complex and everything like that. What they didn't tell these people is the amount of money that they were paying them for working in the factory didn't cover the expenses of where they put them up to stay. So in the end, when they were getting ready to leave and go back home on the student exchange program, they owed Hershey money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have no soul.
And then they were talking about they basically wanted to take all their production products and move them to Mexico, pretty much essentially killing the town of Hershey that they pretty much helped founded with that factory. Ever since I found, and then another thing that I've always been a big fan of since I was a little kid was the Cadbury cream eggs. I don't know what my fascination with Cadbury cream eggs is, but I love those things, especially around Halloween and everything. Oh my goodness! But
the eggs with the cream inside.
Yeah,
those.
Hershey went after them. Hershey went after them and was trying to sue them and saying that they own the rights to the Cadbury cream eggs and that the UK company couldn't sell it and that they needed to sell everything out to Hershey. And screw that. I mean, they eventually won over Hershey. But it was just the fact that Hershey went that route, trying to take over, trying to claim that they had shit. They even tried suing Mars for for M&Ms and everything like that. They tried suing a couple other companies, saying that they created products that were too much like theirs. They actually put one of the smaller companies damn near out of business, and it was a company that made like the cheap chocolates for like the dollar stores, and you would see them in Walmart, and they were called Palmer. I'm not even sure if that company's around anymore, because Hershey went after them and said they put out too many products that look like Hershey products.
See, here's the thing, though. Like all these companies, you know,
Yeah, they all do it.
You find out things about them or whatever. If we really knew everything about all these companies, we probably wouldn't buy a damn thing from anybody. But then again, we probably starve to death and die because, you know, everything we buy, they already have a hand in anyway. You know, like Disney, right? You got this thing about Disney and not, you know, buying anything or supporting anything from them. There's a freaking graph or whatever that you can find on the old interwebs of everything that Disney has their hand in, and their reach is massive.
Yeah.
So
If you have cable,
actually,
you're paying for Disney.
Yeah.
If you have a phone, if you watch the news, you're paying for Disney. If you watch sports, you're paying for Disney.
That's why I avoid most of that stuff. No, awesome one.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to it. It was a bit of a side note, and it was because, you know, I follow the chat. I follow what you guys are talking about and what you're saying. And since it kind of went into talking about the Mandalorian and stuff like that, you know, I responded with, you know, my convictions. When I say I literally don't support certain companies because I can't stand them, I've had a 15-year hatred boner going on for Hershey. So this is what I'm saying. Like, as far as Disney, I can't stand them either. So,
well, I mean, we appreciate you telling us about your hate boner, but what we really need to do is we need to focus on and you know, actually like do something about Miss Martin's duck phobia. Okay, we have to you know, figure out what, you know, we need to cure her duck phobia. You know,
Just
Anybody trying to take your manhood?
Okay, just because I don't want to screw a duck, that doesn't mean I have duck phobia. I happen to like screwing humans that are men, real men.
But you got a bit of a duck human relationship.
Howard's a man. Duck.
He is a duck.
He's a
talking duck, though.
He's a humanoid. He's a humanoid duck. Okay. Regular ducks don't talk and walk. Well, I mean, they walk, but not like he does.
They waddle, and they're ducks. And I don't care if they're humanoid or not. No, I love ducks. I mean, they're cute. I like feeding ducks. I like ducks for what they are. Animals are not for your love interest. That's all.
But Miss Martin, I'm just going to say, like, what have you seen this, like, this cowboy guy that really just, like, really did it for you? And he kind of waddled like a duck.
Okay. Let me make this very clear. You said he waddles like a duck. Fine, he can waddle all he wants. But if he is man through and through and a hot cowboy, I don't care how he walks. He could be in a wheelchair for all I care. I just like human males. Not. I don't do chickens. I don't do ducks. I don't do swans. I don't do animals.
Well, Shellback, that means you're out. No turtles and no guinea pigs either.
That's right. No turtles and sure as hell no guinea pigs.
Well,
wait, we need to get a hold of Foghorn Leghorn too, then, and let him know that he's got no chance with.
Yeah, and tell Snortopoopas I don't do polar bears. I don't do cats. Bone. I think I saw bone in the thing. I don't.
What about Wookiees?
No, hell no.
There's people that marry buildings, you know.
What? Wookiees are too buku.
He love you long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having a Wookiee as a friend.
A friend with
Oh,
benefits.
you're one of those kind of girls, huh? Everybody goes to the friend zone. Yeah. All right.
Yes, if you are an animal, yes, you are only in the friend zone.
All I'm saying is that's some pretty high standards coming from a flower.
What
Do as
are
I
you?
say,
Are you
not as I
kidding,
do.
Tommy?
What's that?
I said, are you kidding, Tommy? Roses are the most freaking stuck-up flower there is. Come on now.
That's right. He's right.
Me personally, I've never played it. Never played either one.
Yeah, the first one was really fun. I played the first one.
I've seen it played. Does that count?
But it's all like Final Fantasy that you just have to make the computer pick your go and that for you. Then it'd be crap.
How about people that quack? They're not going to let this duck thing go.
As long as he's pure human, if that's the noise he makes, I can deal with it. I mean, people can make lots of noises with their mouths. I mean, if you got Faramir there and he started quacking like a duck, I wouldn't care. He's still Faramir.
But as far as some of these other movies that kind of like, they took the same road that Marvel took with Howard the Duck. They tried to make a movie. They tried to, how can I put this? They vaguely based it off the comic book. You know, they didn't really hit a home run with it because they didn't hit as far as the comic book fans. Because really, when you make these movies, if you're not making it for the fans of the franchise, which is the comic book readers, who are you really making it for? Because they're the ones that are going to have the most interest because they're going to know who the character is. If you're talking about somebody who has no clue who Howard the Duck is, why would they even want to watch him in a movie? And I think that's the mistake that they made with this.
Well, they I mean, they did good in my book because Leah Thompson.
Oh, you like the? I had to add the scene.
Like her.
I had to add the bed scene. I knew you would appreciate that. But DC did the same thing when they made Swamp Thing in 1982. While I liked it, I thought it was a good cult classic type of movie. I mean, but once again, there's another movie. It flopped. It flopped hard because they missed some of the target audience from the comic books. Now I heard that they did him right in the series, which I still haven't watched. I actually have the DVD of the series. I need to get around to watching it, but that's just another one. I mean, I know that there's been other movies where they failed to capture the original intent that the creators made for these characters.
He-Man.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. Like, even the Sunbow kind of missed the original mark. But, I mean, honestly, when they created the original comic books, they put thought into it, but they didn't put long-term thought into it. So when they brought in Sunbow kind of recreated it. And if it wasn't for Sunbow's recreation of it, it might not have become quite as popular as it did. Now, I actually have a book with all the original mini comics that came with the figures. It's got all of them. And the original He-Man started out much different than what we see in the Sunbow cartoons. There was no Prince Adam. There was a barbarian from a tribe of barbarians who was the strongest of his kind, whose name was He-Man. And he eventually gets the power. He gets and it wasn't just the sword. He got the harness, which created almost like a force field around him. He got the belt was supposed to be a belt of power to increase his strength. There was a lot more.
They wanted.
Go ahead.
They wanted to make a Conan comic or something like that, but they couldn't. So that's where He-Man came from, right?
Basically, they were
Originally?
conscripted to work on Conan, and they were going to make toys for the movie. They actually had some hesitancy of working with a movie that was basically an R-rated movie, and they really didn't think that they would be able to move those toys, so they actually defaulted on their contract. So when they defaulted on that and they decided to pull the plug on it, they wound up going a different route, and they were like, okay, well, we need to make a new toy line. What are we going to make? And they actually had a bunch of people that threw all these different ideas out. And one of the guys was actually working on something similar to Conan, and he based it off of Frank Frazetta and his work, not only with Conan, but some, like some of the paintings that he used to do, those barbarian-esque type paintings. And he drew up a character, something along that barbarian line, and they decided to run with it. So that's actually how they created He-Man. It wasn't based on Conan itself, but it was based off of Frank Frazetta's work. How Luffy is God, Howard the Duck is a result of a personal competition between Lucas and Spielberg. Steven made E.T. and George made Howard the Duck. Super double dare. Uh-oh. What's going on there?
Okay, can I address this?
Go for it.
They are besmirching the most perfect man who never lived, the great man of Gondor, Faramir. They're calling what do you call it? Faramir Cat. And then they've been coming with all these different things with him being like this animal. Flairish smear. I mean, come on. I am denouncing all of you. May you all be very, very ashamed of yourselves.
No animal love in here.
So,
This is terrible.
I mean,
so we
This
can add.
This guinea pig feels besmirched.
you're not just Faramir. He's perfect.
We can add meerkats. We can add meerkats to her phobia list.
No. You gotta understand. You just gotta understand. First of all, Lord of the Rings is like the greatest fantasy ever made, and Faramir is the greatest character, the greatest man who ever existed.
Somebody call up Timon and tell him.
Yeah, which one's Faramir again?
He's one that looks like a meerkat, apparently.
No, he does not.
Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King. Timon is a meerkat.
I know what you're getting at, and I'm. You know what? You guys are trying to get a reaction out of me, so I'm going to quit reacting.
Luffy is God. DC Comics created Adam Cringer, Orko, Evelyn. Actually, Luffy, no. Evelyn was actually created by Mattel. As far as Adam and Cringer and Orko, especially Orko was actually Filmation's lead guy. He based Orko on himself. So Filmation actually created those characters. DC didn't. DC actually didn't do the comics until, like adding stuff like that into the comics until much later on. It was actually Filmation that created all those. There's a bunch of different articles that you can find out about that, and they'll tell you about the guy who ran Filmation Studios. And yeah, he was Orko.
That's all my experience is from the cartoon. I don't know anything about any He-Man comics or anything.
I guess that would depend, Wookie. It depends on what Spider-Man is on it, I suppose.
Yeah, them comic books, Shellback, those released when the first released the toys, and so yeah, there was, and then I think once the cartoons came out, like
I watched the cartoon religiously though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's going on, JJ?
Just getting home and settled in. I don't know if you saw the tweet yesterday. I got my car fixed.
Yes, I did. Congratulations.
So I got to break it in real right like today. I had some errands to run, shit to do, and I'm wore out. It's the most I've moved in 3 months. Because that's how long it's taken to get my car fixed. It's been 3 months.
Well, if you have a problem with moving, you should probably get a hold of Walton and get some of that coffee of his. You'll be moving.
Moving, not movements.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But I want my damn coffee though.
Did I tell you that I'm working on the production for the candles?
Good deal. Not like I'd buy any or anything like that, but still, yeah.
Oh, well, I plan on creating 2 candles. There's going to be a regular just coffee candle, and then there's going to be Walton's special enema coffee candle, just like I did in the original commercial, like over a year and a half ago. Oh, I haven't forgotten about that.
Who's going to buy a shit candle? Really?
You never know. Somebody might just for giggles. I told Steven, here's what's going to happen. When I get done creating it and I perfected it and I think it's about as disgusting as it can be, I'm going to send him one and I'm going to demand that he light it on either a video or a live stream because we need a real reaction to it.
If it smells like coffee, smells like coffee, fine. But if it smells like coffee and poo, no.
Well, no, there will be 2 candles available, and one will be the enema ass candle. So, and from what I understand, the stuff that I use basically smells like an outhouse. The spray. If you're talking like raw sewage smell or like porta potty out in a flea market that's in the 90-degree weather all day, it's kind of like that. It's about as disgusting as you can get. So I definitely want Walton to light one of those up on a live stream. I'm doing this for him. I'm doing this for the fans.
It's friendship.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Tommy, I got to be.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
On Winds of Winter or whatever.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, hey,
sorry.
well, there. Well,
I meant to hit solo. I meant to hit solo layout, and my my pointer was off just a little bit. Miss Martin, tell them where you are, what you got going on, and thank you so much for joining us. If somebody could drop her link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad I was able to make it because sometimes depending on my situation, but I was so happy to be able to make it. It's always loads of fun, and screw you, Shellback. And anyways,
wow.
All of you that besmirched Faramir, I'm gonna do a voodoo curse on you. Oh crap, I can't. I'm not supposed to do that. Never mind, you're safe. But I digress. You can find me here on YouTube.
Did anybody get the number of the license plate on that hate bus?
You can find me here at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. I'm talking about things right now that are scaring the living daylights out of me. It's going to be ghost stories tomorrow. Wednesday night on OG Star Wars, we're talking some Star Wars EU. And Saturday mornings, it is the book discussions of The Lord of the Rings. And if Forking's awake, in a few minutes, we're going to be over on his channel talking about the Winds of Winter, from what I understand. So thank you, everyone. It's always lovely talking to you all. Have a good evening, and may the Force be with you always.
Take care, Miss Martin. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe to Miss Martin and follow her on Twitter as well.
Thank you. Okay,
all right,
goodbye.
You have a good one.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Now what she's really gonna go do is go kick some ducks. That's what she's really gonna do.
Try to make out what she's feeding them so they get close. Poof! Right in the
Yeah, Luffy. They can claim that all they want, and more than likely that's on a Wikipedia page. I'm telling you, you can go research it. Look under Filmation. The character of Orko was created by the guy who runs Filmation. And as far as Evelyn was already a character before DC got involved. Now, as far as Cringer and Adam go, it's possible that maybe DC might have had a hand in them, but they did not have a hand in Orko, and they did not have a hand in Evelyn at all. And I mean, this is part of the problem with like researching some of that stuff. A lot of the sites, when you go on Google, the first things they always pull up is they pull up either Wikipedia or some page that's very similar to that. And the problem is they could be rewritten by anyone. So a lot of times they don't have reliable information on there.
Yeah, Wikipedia is not like a good final source, is it?
No, far from it.
Yeah. It's good for getting her like first impression, general idea.
Yeah, it's fully caught though. So
I trust Wikipedia better than I would Wikipedia.
Yeah,
and even Wikipedia, that's still a branch of Wikipedia, and it gets rewritten by people.
Speaking of
Wookiee supremacy, I thought you were his comments.
Well, no. You know, we got Wookiee in the chat. He's a great supporter. You know, yeah. I'll always back it if there's a Wookiee in the name. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's why I thought you say that. Yeah, you trust his comments in Wikipedia.
Man, Wookiee's been around a long time, guys.
You know, speaking of Wikipedia, I actually took Wikipedia and combined it with Ancestry.com and found out that I'm related to Lobot.
Nice.
I didn't even know there was a Wikipedia.
The haircut's at least the same, right?
Yeah. I put it on my Instagram. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh God, do you see this one?
Who's this?
Got at least a pint of tryptophan coursing through my system. Oh, it's Turkey Day here in Canada, and I have had my full. You guys remember those commercials where that guy was like, "And tryptophan is some pretty amazing stuff." Whack, 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 whack. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Turkey Day today. That's right.
Tryptophan is supposed to be good for you, I think.
No, it's supposed to relax you. It's supposed to be a very relaxing thing. So it also.
And you get that from eating turkey? Because I always thought that was.
It's not just in turkey though. I think there's tryptophan in other things.
Yeah, there's tryptophan and a lot of other stuff. But that they say that's one of the reasons after you have a big turkey dinner, it's why you get kind of tired. Other people say it's just because of all the carbs, because you're eating like stuffing in a lot of places and. So I was never a huge fan of stuffing either. I don't mind stuffing.
I love stuffing, and
I'd rather eat vegetables. That has always been my thing, like homemade vegetables.
Yes. I like stuffing if it's on, if it's good and moist. If it's on the dry side.
No, not the meerkats.
Right.
Oh, she's hating on the meerkats. Oops. You didn't mean to hate on the meerkats. I understand.
It's not very ladylike, Teresa.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
My roommate's ain't big. Go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead, Jens. You go first.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is why I thought you said Wookiee Supreme, because Wookiee Supreme is giving you facts and detail that I didn't know about.
That's right. Wikipedia is not based on Kashyyyk. It is not run by Wookiees. For your information.
Thank you, Tommy, for pronouncing that right.
Always. Go ahead, JJ. What
I was just talking about stuffing, man. I have stuffing once a year, and that's on Thanksgiving. And it's not even here at home because, unfortunately, my roommates are not stuffing people. I'm like, you asshats, man. That's good shit. Oh, man.
Death by Saber, be well. If you guys, later on tonight, Death by Saber usually does a Star Wars and Hose show. Usually we try to send people out to other channels when they're done. I believe you're running at 8 p.m. Death by Saber if you're still here, or you're running at it a little later than that. But later on tonight on Death by Saber's channel, he does the Star Wars and Hose show. So that's HOSE, just so YouTube doesn't get upset about it. But make sure to stop by 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Be sure to stop by and see him do that.
Like a water hose. Air hose.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I love those roast vegetables. Yeah, I love fresh made vegetables.
Roast potatoes are lovely.
I knew me and
Pacific
you
time.
got along. I knew me and you got along, Tommy.
Yep.
To me, vegetables are like crack to me. I gotta have them. You know, I can go to Golden Corral, eat at a buffet, get a salad and 2 plates of fucking vegetables and maybe one little itty bitty piece of meat. Give me the vegetables. Gotta have them. And besides, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, if you eat your fruits and vegetables, it helps build your immune system naturally.
Yeah, so does the meat.
Awesome one says, I told a Southerner I like their stuffing. They nearly ran me out of the house.
Oh, wow. I'm a Southerner. I'd compliment you on it. Thank you. Appreciate it. No,
I take it you didn't see the movie we were talking about earlier, did you, JJ?
Well, I wasn't here, so I don't know what movie you were talking about.
We were talking about Howard the Duck.
Oh, I saw it once. That's all it took.
Yeah, hated that one, huh?
What?
It wasn't a favorite. No, it was not a favorite. But I have seen it, yes. And because Leah Thompson was hot as hell in it, that's probably the only good thing I could pick out of it.
I thought it was campy, and I thought it was funny.
Just don't be a duckophobe like Teresa.
We found that out about Miss Martin. She's apparently a duckophobe. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow. Well, another I wouldn't call her a YouTuber, but I call her a chat rat, but she pops in on panels from time to time. Dandelion Fluff. She does not want to be anywhere near a cat's tongue. She goes, "Oh God, that's the grossest thing ever to be licked by a cat." I'm like, okay.
It is kind of weird. But
most animals, you don't want them licking you.
It's like somebody running sandpaper on your skin.
It's how they clean themselves, isn't it? Like them people that let dogs lick their face with their lips out. It's like, why don't you just stick your face in its rectum? Because you're basically doing that.
Nasty. So there's something else I wanted to bring up, and I know Shellback probably won't mind talking about this one. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name of the company. I had it earlier, but there was a company, and it could have been Ertl that made it, but I am unsure. They made actual figures for the Dukes of Hazzard show. Does anybody remember when they made this little 3 3/4 inch figures?
No,
but I have seen them.
I remember the toys now, the car and the Jeep and stuff like that, but I don't actually remember the figures all that well.
Yeah, they made 3 3/4 inch figures, and they actually, I have the General Lee that went with those figures. Probably it's almost about a foot long, and it's got a hatch at the top where the flag is that you pop open so you can put the figures down into the seats.
Cool.
I used to have Bo. I used to have Luke. I had Boss Hog, who had a removable rubber hat. I believe it was Cletus I had, and he had a removable hat. Yeah, Cletus. And I never had a chance to get Roscoe, because I think Roscoe, he was sold separately, but usually the best way to get him is he came with the patrol car.
Okay, I have one question, Tommy. Did they make a Cooter figure?
Yes, they did. They also made it was like a bit of a playset area. I don't remember if it went into full production or not, but they did have at least a demo of it made. It was Cooter's Garage and a few other places. They had the figure for Anus. They had 2 different Daisy Dukes. They had her Jeep. They had Uncle Jesse. They had the pickup. They also had Boss Hogg's limousine, who came with the limousine driver.
Which was most of the time Roscoe in the show, wasn't it? Because I never noticed a limo driver that Boss Hogg ever had. But then again, that's just me. I don't pay attention to shit anyway.
Could have been on the second season or something.
Yes, Scheimer, yes. And Orko was actually based on him, and they created Orko. And like I said, as far as Evelyn was already a character that was developed by Mattel before DC was actually even brought in. Because originally they came up with all kinds of concepts for figures before they had DC do the mini comics.
That's pretty cool that they made those figures at all.
They were definitely interesting, and they were definitely different. And like I said, I do remember Orko was created, and I couldn't remember his name, and Luffy has it right there, Scheimer. And Orko was actually created basically as him, and I believe he voiced Orko too, if I'm not mistaken. But when they created those original comics, there was a lot different originally than Filmation. There was a lot different. Like there was no Adam, there was no Cringer.
I still think it's bullshit that Orko wasn't in the movie. Man, we got this little. We got
Weldor. Yeah.
Yeah.
They poop on everything. Ducks are harmless. It's a geese you got to keep an eye on. Miss Martin's anti-duckist leanings and rhetoric have been well documented. Oh, Jesus. Oh, poor Miss Martin. There may have to be a meme for this. Oh, no.
Talk about toys, though. Here's one for Han. You'll love this. Yeah, this is that one, the duck. Funko.
Oh, of course they got a Funko of it.
Yeah. I tell you something, though. That is like the most detailed Funko Pop I've ever seen in my life. Because usually you like...
Jens, he's a duck. What do you want?
I know. That's what I'm saying. They probably like best Funko Pop doll you can get.
Marvel owns Funko Pop? Or is that
no, that's just Marvel. They actually Funko Pop. They have to do it in collaboration with all those different companies. Like they have DC, they have Marvel. Like anything you could think of. Usually Funko Pop does them. They've done stuff with Transformers, so they probably have the Hasbro thing on there.
What do you think of Funko Pops, Tommy?
Funko,
I personally don't like them.
Yeah, I don't either. But they've got their fingers in everything.
It's disgusting.
You know, yeah, they've got their fingers in everything.
Soul Assassin, right there. Thoughts on the Dukes of Hazzard film? That more modern take of it. I hated it. Couldn't stand it. And Son of a Red Shirt. I never had the Dukes of Hazzard, General Lear, Bo, or Luke action figure. I did, however, repeatedly lick all the denim paint off the ass of several Daisy Duke action figures. That was something else that they did. I think they made, I can't remember if it was Mego or which company did it, but they made like the doll figures as well. So, support love for ducks. Absolutely.
Quack, quack.
I do. Oh God, did Filmation do the Star Trek animated series? I can't remember. I do believe they did do Super Friends. A few of the other ones, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I only remember Green Teela from the comics. Actually, the that green actually wasn't supposed to be Teela originally, Luffy. That was actually supposed to be the Sorceress, because she's handing He-Man all his armor. Originally, that was supposed to be the Sorceress. I know exactly which one you're talking about, too. Yeah, because they messed up the coloring on it. Generations, Beanie Babies, yeah. Two and pig, one in the stick action doll. That'll be Walton approved. I'm pretty sure. But But yeah, I mean, as far as Funko, I was never a huge fan of those. However, they did kind of remind me a lot of those figures, like from back in the day. Like you had the Smurfs, you had the Snorks, you had those little non-posable figures. That's what Funko Pops reminded me of.
Yeah.
And while
They
some of those
started off
figures,
okay.
yeah, I mean, while some of those figures were cool, they were so small. That's what I thought that made them easier to collect. The way these things are just so much larger, they take up so much space. Lost the shell back again. I have a duck army that will quack Hollywood out of business.
Wow.
Yeah, and see, this is one of the things that, like, back then when they made movies, they didn't always have figures or toys available for every single movie. Now, when a movie comes out, you almost always see some kind of toys for it, for the most part. You know, if as long as it's not like, you know, as long as it's something like a comic related or something like that, or it's like a big enough franchise, like if you're talking even just Star Wars or something like that, Indiana Jones, they're going to have figures for those. But back then, here was a comic book character that they did not have any figures for back then.
Yeah, production was Filmation on the animated series. Filmation, Norway Productions, and Paramount Television.
Well, yeah, well, of course, because Paramount owned the rights to Star
yeah.
Trek, so yeah, of course,
but
that name's going to be.
It was the first one on the list was Filmation.
And it's funny too. I have the collection, like it's a complete collection box that actually looks like a tricorder.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a neat set. I picked it up for like damn near nothing. So it's got the entire collection from the animated series for Star Trek.
I never got into the animated series, but then again, I never really got into the TOS. I started catching on with. Now I watched it. Don't get me wrong, but I started catching on to Star Trek when The Next Generation came out, and then I started paying attention from there. Never was a big TOS or animated series fan. Don't really know why.
I like the original Star Trek. I like Next Generation. The animated series, when I was growing up, I liked it, but I can't say I was a humongous fan of. I actually had more appreciation for it much later on. I mean, it's the same thing with the original Star Trek. I really liked the original Star Trek, but I appreciate it much more now than I did when I was younger. Even though I did like it, I think I have a lot more deeper appreciation for it, especially in light of some of the newer stuff that's come out.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything else, like Deep Space Nine was another one. I was not a huge fan of Deep Space Nine initially. And it was something I had to go back and watch later on. And I had to get past like the first, I forget how many episodes. It was like first like 7 or 8 episodes, and it started picking up finally. And then I really appreciated Deep Space Nine for what it was.
Dude, that's my favorite one, man. It's Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but
I'm
I think
rewatching it again now.
I would say it's those first so many episodes. It's such a slow burn initially that for most people it's a bit of a turnoff. And I mean, that's what I was like when I was younger. Because my dad was a huge fan of everything Star Trek. I mean, he even watched Voyager, which I couldn't stand Voyager. But he even watched that. He watched every last one of them religiously. And I would sit down and I would watch them with him. And like, yeah, I wasn't a fan of Deep Space Nine until much later on. Next Generation, I liked right from the jump. And even Enterprise, you know, with Scott Bakula, I liked that off the jump too. I thought that was fun and entertaining. I mean, granted, it kind of got a little bit goofy towards the last season, but
yeah, I've got one for this animated series.
I loved Enterprise, except one thing and one thing alone. Okay, based on basically the first 5-year mission, so to speak. That ship was way too high tech for what it was. Because you go back and look at TOS, They didn't have all these touch screens and shit like that.
Well, no, if you really paid attention to what they did in Enterprise, JJ, it wasn't as high tech as you'd think. A lot of the stuff that they had in there was basically throwbacks to the old Star Trek series. Like they have the scope that comes out of the
Yeah.
the
But I'm
panel.
just talking about all. Now you see a lot. I'm talking within the shuttle pods, and different areas of the ship that they show. You see a lot of the push buttons and knobs and stuff like that. But it was also, to me, too many LED screens. Or LCD, whatever they used at the time. Stuff that you didn't see from the TOS, but you do see a lot of firsts in Enterprise. Like when they first start using the transporter, Reed comes up with basically red alert. Everything comes online at the same time. A lot of things, the prime directive, things like that there were a lot of firsts in this TV show that if you wasn't paying attention, you would miss it. They're like, yo, okay, this is how this started, or this is how that started, which I was okay with, but there was still a lot of stuff. Ain't no show perfect, but, as far as a Star Trek show, to me, it's always been DS9 or Enterprise. Voyager, I thought wasn't all that great. There's a couple episodes of it I liked, especially with the Borg involved, but man, I always say Star Wars first and foremost, but when it comes to TV, I love my Trek. I really do.
Hey, do you think Captain Kirk banged this tiger bird?
Do we really need to think about that?
It's a cartoon, Jens. We don't think about stuff like that.
It's Captain Kirk.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, but I'm going to watch the animated series just to make sure.
But no, seriously. Even though he was a ladies' man, I would love somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see where people are going with that, but to me, like, knowing everything that they had at the time available to him when he made Star Trek, I mean, you're looking at two different areas with, with everything available, and they had stuff that was a lot more high tech they could have used in Enterprise, and they didn't.
Yeah.
The only thing I kind of, like a lot of people question the shape of the ship, but if you look at it, it very much resembles, that the one from the movie, where he takes off in that shuttle-looking ship, the one where they're first introduced to space flight, as far as like having a ship with the drive capabilities.
Wait a minute, the movie. Wait a minute. You mean First Contact?
First Contact.
Okay. They converted a nuclear missile into a warp ship?
Yeah, not exactly like it, but it had some of the elements where it had, the nacelles very close to the sides of the ship, like not really stretch out that far. It kind of, I got the feels of that, like something that was like early generation.
Yeah. Zephyr Cochrane in First Contact, exactly. Converted a nuclear missile into a warp ship. I thought that was ingenious. And that's how they worded it in the movie. You take a weapon of mass destruction and turn it into a
vessel of exploration.
A vessel of exploration and peace.
And Shifty Gizmo, what's going on? Welcome.
What's up, Shifty?
Yes, son of a red shirt, you are actually correct. I hate to correct you, but he actually came out with the Reed alert, not red alert.
Well, that was the first rendition of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that they were all under the effects of some kind of mind thing at the time too, I believe.
Yep. Reed was obsessed with trying to get this system set up. Trip was tripping out over Archer's chair, and let's see, Dr. Phlox was one to operate on the helmsman. I can't remember his name right now. Blackhead. Everybody was doing their own thing.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis. Hoshi was trying to perfect a soup or a broth or something in the mess hall. You know, that was a crazy episode.
There was a lot of fun in a lot of those episodes, I thought. I mean, personally. I mean, I thought, and one of the things I always say I like that they did, and they didn't need to do it. I know a lot of people say, well, we didn't need that explanation. I kind of like how they tied the original series to the next generation as far as the Klingons were concerned. They gave you a reason why the Klingons look differently.
Yeah. And they did that in Enterprise in the last season.
No, it was. I thought it was an earlier season. It was like
no,
the
it was
season.
it was the fourth season of Enterprise. The Klingons kidnapped Phlox because they acquired eugenics, information and technology and stuff like that. And they were trying to make their own super soldiers.
Yeah, well, I think they had captured the, or they went after some of the escapees.
Well, the ones the Klingons had made, one of the side effects was they lost their ridges. But at the same time, they were put on a shelf life, and they wanted Phlox to cure them. So they kidnapped Phlox because the main Klingon of the episode was dude's uncle, Fresh Prince's uncle from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, the big, hefty, set black guy? He was the head Klingon. He kept threatening to kill Phlox the whole episode until Phlox actually started helping. But I can't remember the name of the episode, but that's basically what had happened. They needed a cure to keep them from dying. And Phlox came up with a cure that also took out their aggressive tendencies, basically making them normal.
Oh, I wasn't even aware of that, Shifty. No, I mean, it's not surprising. But, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, how many people are really going to subscribe to Paramount just for that? They're going to wind up failing like a lot of these other ones are failing. And then they're going to have to join together with another company. What's up, CJ? How you doing, buddy?
Great to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. I'm mad at Paramount. See, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Subscribe to Paramount, but you go into a lot of their older shows. Don't even have whole seasons. They like picked some episodes out of a season and put it up. They can't even give you a whole season. Say like you wanted to go binge and watch the original MacGyver. Nope. You want to go binge and watch a show I love to watch. It's called Jag. Nope. They got it up, but you know, like the second season has 7 episodes. Bullshit. That's a 20 episode season. 20 some odd episodes. It's ridiculous. They need to keep up. You know, don't put a show up unless you're going to put all their shit up.
They probably sold some of them episodes from that season to the Man channel because I'm sure they used to just play loads of Jag. It was on every week. Every day.
Yep. Everything's fading away slowly but surely.
It's sickening. It really is. I mean,
and
this is one of the reasons why I tell people, if you can, get physical media. And yes. I know there's a lot of people say, oh, well, I prefer streaming. But here's the problem. You can't trust 90% of these streaming services. I mean, look what Netflix just did when they brought Seinfeld back. They brought Seinfeld over on Netflix, and then they started editing it, taking out things that people felt were racist or offensive. This is just what these companies are going to do. And it's going to get to a point like, unless you remember the original stuff vividly, or you have physical media to look back on and say, hey, that's not how that was, most people might not even realize what's been taken out of it initially.
Because back in the old days, it used to be like you'd know it was edited because then they'd have the unedited cut. And so, but nowadays, as you say, tell me they're going to do it where it's like, oh no, that's the original. And it's like, no, it ain't. Because Eddie Murphy swore like hell in Beverly Hills Cop. And now he's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And even, you mentioned Eddie Murphy. I don't know who's seen it, but even Coming to America 2 is a PG-13 version of the very first one. And I liked it, but you could tell they were trying to be clean and innocent compared to the first one.
Yeah.
And it just ain't flying. They're diluting the media, and people are catching on.
Yeah, you're like with RoboCop when they did the new RoboCop, and the original like it was hard to beat, but when you're gonna try and beat the original, which was proper like in its day, ultra violent, hardcore, this is like best or the most squelch or the squad pack
Yeah,
thing.
but to me, believe it or not, Jens, the very first RoboCop, the original. Okay, the worst thing about that whole movie to me wasn't the fact that people getting shot and other stuff like that. Was that one scene, man? You know, towards the end, guy hits the tower, or what that was, and all that toxic fluid. Yeah, and he just starts melting off of him.
Yeah,
that was the worst thing.
Help me! Help me!
He was slowly but surely. He was slowly but surely turning into Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah, he got fucked up, didn't he? Like instantly.
Yeah, but that's the worst part of that movie to me. The rest of it ain't nothing to it. You see worse than that on cop shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, like the thing we wrote, it was going ultraviolet where it basically turned into a horror film at that stage where you had some toxic acid creature trying to like get some help with that, and then when and then when Vince Bodyguard ain't paying attention to the road and he just like hits him, and he like well,
it's like getting a water balloon.
Yeah, great. And then like you make the remake and you do it PG-13, and you're like, what?
Hey JJ, so Son of a Red Shirt, he was talking about he loved JAG, and the show was underrated and wouldn't have all those NCIS programs. And he says the girl from JAG was super hot. What was her name? Catherine something.
Catherine Bell.
I would say she was super hot.
Yeah, but she didn't come into the picture until the second season. I can't remember the first girl, but the first season had a blonde. I don't know what happened because, like I said, Paramount don't have the entire series up. And even if they did, because it was a cliffhanger from season 1 to season 2, they don't even have the first episode up. They start with episode 2. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what happened to this blonde girl. She might have died. I don't know, because I know she got shot at the end of the first season. But yeah, the brunette, yeah, she's hot as hell, dude. Her name's Catherine Bell. Nice. I think she looks nice, and or out of uniform. And I wasn't being perverted.
Shifty says the worst part of RoboCop was the Ronnie Cox stop motion puppet falling out that window.
Well, worst looking, yeah. I'm just talking about like violence and come on, man. If you're gonna look up Catherine Bell, look up Catherine Bell.
All right, well,
yeah.
All right, Shellback. He's got to go thaw out. Get under that heat lamp, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's cold where they're at. It's going to be almost 90 degrees tomorrow here. I can only imagine what it's like down there, Tommy.
Yeah, Shellback's out there in Washington. So,
Dude, if anything, now would be the time for you to be in Jersey, where it's getting cooler.
no, thanks.
Well, I know you don't particularly like it up there, but I'm just saying compared to the Florida humidity,
And that's okay. I'm fine with the humidity.
I'm not.
It don't bother me.
See, even now, she don't look bad for a woman of her age. But back then on the show, yeah. Anybody,
The Tatas look like they're hanging a little bit more now.
anybody that didn't like the Marines after this show, there's something wrong with you. Because Rab, her partner, was Navy. She was a Marine.
Yeah, so I don't recall this series in great detail. I actually watched NCIS a lot more. What was some of the other ones? Because NCIS was the naval. NCIS was the naval one. CSI was just crime scene investigation. Then they had, what was it, crime scene investigation, SVU.
Yeah, that's special victims unit.
Special victims unit. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you had all different variations of CSI. You know, you got Miami, you got New Orleans, you got I think there was one in New York, maybe somewhere around there. I don't know. There was different variations of that show, kind of like Law and Order. No, Law and Order was SVU, I think. Yeah, Law and Order was SVU.
Oh my God, my parents watched those.
Well, you're a little bit older than I am. If I remember correctly, you're a little bit older than I am, Wookie, so you should be watching these right now. This is good old-fashioned television now. And thanks to a wonderful TV station I watch.
CJ, I do have a bunch of them. I'm not necessarily collecting them, but I do have a bunch just because I brought them back from my dad's house. Yeah, is this the senior center hour or what? I mean, you know what though? Here's the thing though, Wookie. When you're talking about stuff from the past, like it don't matter if we're talking about Transformers, if we're talking about GoBots, Micronauts, or if we're talking about older movies, like we were talking about Howard the Duck, or if we were talking about Friday the 13th, or you know what? It always seems like a senior center at that point because it was so long ago at this point.
Yeah. Wookie's supremacy. If you want up to date news and that, you go watch Salty, don't you?
Well, yeah, this is the senior hour because I was just before I came in here and turned my rig on, I was in there talking to my roommate, and we were talking about we both had been locked up and whatever like that. And, this November, it's been 30 years since I've been locked up, and I'm like, holy fuck, where the hell have I been? That was back in '91.
Yeah,
So
there was
good old stuff, good old school stuff.
Yeah, you just don't even realize how much time has gone by until you look back on some of this stuff from your childhood and like, holy shit, was that long ago already?
Yeah, man. I watched this TV station called Heroes and Icons, H&I. Okay, it got I'm talking old school, MacGyver, Jag, Monk, House, Numbers. They got Baywatch, which I'm not too big on that. They're about to bring back fucking Walker, Texas Ranger. And from 8 o'clock at night, every single episode of Star Trek. They start with the originals, the TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. 6 days a week. I'm like, man, I don't need any other TV stations. Oh, the Love Boat. Wow.
I remember the Love Boat. I was more of a fan though. You're talking to ship shows. I like Gilligan's Island.
Wasn't a big fan of that one. I didn't care for Gilligan's Island or MASH or stuff like that. I always liked funny
Really?
stuff when I was a kid. Yeah, like All in the Family, The Jeffersons,
The movie star, Mary Ann. You didn't like Gilligan's Island? What's wrong with you, JJ?
That show is older than I am, Tommy. Come on. I wasn't into women then.
You know what? I used to watch Dark Shadows too with my mother. So,
okay. Wookie, man, ease up with the Metamucil, bro.
Nice.
I've seen Jag reruns before. I didn't watch it for very long.
There was another one that was like kind of like a crime scene investigator. It was called Cold Case.
Yep.
It's not to be confused with the Cold Case Files. It was just called Cold Case.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One I didn't particularly care about, but it still falls in the same line. It was called The Closer. Man, it's just, and I was a big fan of NYPD Blue. I love that show.
My wife watched one of those other shows. I mean, granted, I forget when that one came out. I want to say it was late 80s. ER.
Yep. Fucking hey, dude. Talking about ER, man. Grey's Anatomy is still going.
And what was the other one they used? That I know that one didn't come out until much later. That came out like I want to say that was like 2000s. Was that House?
Yeah, House, man. House.
With Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, man. I watched the shit out of that too.
No, I watched Scrubs.
Oh, I remember Scrubs. God, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was basically a show. It was basically a show about these two guys who were test subjects. I think it was called Testes. That's what the name of the show was called. Yeah, I'm not joking. It was called Testes. That basically what they did is they went and they got paid to get all these like different things tested on them. And they were always coming home all messed up from these experiments. You've never seen that one? You want a good laugh? See if you can find Testes. It's actually very funny. Saint Elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, Saint Elsewhere. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Every bad show ever? I don't know, Wookie. I mean, how much time do you got?
Soap was good. I like Soap.
Yeah. Again, what's his name? He was in Robert Blake. Was that Robert Blake?
Yeah, Benson, man. Odo was in it too.
Yeah, there was like quite a lot of good comedians in that. Because like I was a kid, but Soap was one of them programs that was real childish, and so I used to just laugh at stuff with it.
And I catch a lot of shit for this. I never was a big Doctor Who fan, ever. But I loved, as a kid, I loved Benny Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew what the show was about, even though I was young. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is about the women and stuff like that. But it was funny to me. I liked it.
Oh, yeah. Well, but basically, the joke was that Benny Hill fancied real good-looking lasses, but he'd do something to piss them off, and he'd rather be and this is the comical element of Benny Hill in his genius writing. He'd have different situations whether he'd be a pervy, like dirty old man, and he'd be slapping him, or he'd have something that'd make him look like a pervy old man and slap him.
My mom's favorite show ever was Are You Being Served? I think that was the name of it. She called it her Britcoms.
See, and my taste varied so wildly with some of the shows that I would watch. Besides, obviously, like in the 80s when I was watching Transformers, I would watch GoBots, Thundar the Barbarian, Godzilla, and Godzuki. I'd be watching all these crazy different cartoons, and I loved the holy hell out of all those things. But I would also sit there and watch older shows like MASH. I enjoyed the holy hell out of watching MASH. I like watching Hogan's Heroes.
No.
I like the Dukes of Hazzard. I like so many different varied shows.
And that was good.
Cheers, yeah, I like Cheers too.
I watched. I didn't watch it all, but I watched some Cheers, and it was an okay show.
Have
But
you
as
seen
Go ahead.
Children's Hospital
No,
by Adult Swim?
no.
It's freaking hilarious. You gotta see. There are only 15-minute episodes. Oh, and the guy from Fonzie, he's in it.
The
He's
guy
like
from
the-
Fonzie. You mean Henry Winkler?
Yeah, he's like the head director of the Children's Hospital. Everything is, it's basically Airplane type of humor,
Right.
but in the Children's Hospital, it's freaking hilarious.
But that
Oh,
is
real quick,
Go ahead.
son of a red shirt. So he said Robert Blake also did a really cool 70s movie called Electric Glide in blue, where he played like a chip officer. Also, Robert Blake is actually the one who did SOB. I really like that one.
Blake. Robert Blake. Why does that name sound familiar?
Hogan's Heroes.
Oh,
Hogan.
okay. All right. Yeah. Hey. The only thing I know about Hogan's Zeros is Clink, and it had Richard Dawson in it.
What are you looking up now, Jens?
But,
Oh, he's quick on the draw, man. Well, he's sitting there quiet most of the time. He's looking shit up. He's ready to share a screen.
What do you got going on this time?
yeah, is that what you were talking about, Curtis?
Yeah, it's hilarious. Hilarious show. That guy's hilarious too. This clown. Everyone's freaking hilarious in the show. It's an amazing show. It's like way funnier than Office in my opinion because of how slapstick it is. Look at the Henry guy on the right, and then the lady with the walker. She's amazing. Also, I really like the guy in the back smiling, and the Jew, the guy to the right. He's like a Jewish doctor. He's amazing. Yeah. They're all so funny.
He's been in a few comedies and that because he was in that.
They're basically like the worst. Oh, is he in that? They're basically the worst at their job. It's Airplane, but in a hospital.
Yeah.
Everything goes wrong.
Have you seen much of that Eastbound and Down with what's his name? Baseball player.
Baseball.
Yeah. I think it's East. Westbound and Down, something like that. But anyway, he played because he's a baseball player and he gets put on a chat show and he's sort of like the chat show dude who wants him on and that. But the character he plays a right sort of like elitist who thinks like he's the like best ever and can afford every.
He's like the best doctor in this.
Yeah. He does a very good arrogant sort of like.
You can see it on his face too in that picture.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a Baldwin, but.
Now, Son of Red Shirt also says the cast is pretty impressive when you read their IMDb accomplishments. Individually, though, you probably wouldn't know them. Henry Winkler was one of the bigger stars. So, yeah, I mean, that was after Happy Days and everything like that. Like, after Happy Days, that kind of made Winkler's career for a bit, and then he kind of like he hit like a dead end street, and then he started finding other work other place, and then all of a sudden everybody wanted him. Yeah, then everybody wanted him to make appearances.
Yeah, and he's great.
Delocated. Why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
Yeah,
What
just
is delocated?
And now.
Yeah, I've seen that show too. That's a really funny show too.
Yeah, it was in there as like a host and that.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then there's SVD, I forget what it's called, Adult Swim spoof of like at CSI, all those shows. That's a really good spoof show too. They're all like 15-minute shows, but they're great.
Yeah, Jens started talking about Eastbound and Down. I started to think of freaking Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Well, it is. I think probably where they've like took the name of because he's
This was a good show too. I remember this one.
All right, so Delocated 2008 to 2013. John Glazer, Jacob Kogan, and Steve Service. A family hiding from Russian mobsters participates in a reality show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds.
Well,
so
yeah,
familiar.
with the way his face looks, it looks like another episode of what is it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something like that. Because that's how they kind of look, with those tan lines.
Yeah, Danny McBride is great though in this show. Oh, is that McConaughey? Oh yeah. Look at, and then that guy, yeah, him on the right. He was pretty funny in that show too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, he plays a classic like soy
doofus.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what? Son of a Wrencher, you might be right. Blake Edwards. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was confusing it with him.
Well,
that's what I was thinking of.
These are mostly shows that are old for me. Not. You guys might not have even seen these yet, but they're definitely.
Well,
worth
we
watching.
can't help it if you're young and curious.
I know.
It's okay though. We're not holding that against you. Along the way, we may be able to introduce you to some great older content that you might actually think is already funny.
You know what I was just watching the other day, JJ, because I wanted to watch something older. I was watching what was that, it was 1978 or 1979, Car Wash.
Oh wow, the movie Car Wash.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah, man. That's a good classic. That is a good classic. It for real is. You want to talk about classic?
Jesus, what's why am I blanking on the other comedian's name? Carlin, George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, had George Carlin in it. It also had that big black guy that was like in the Commando movie. He was in Predator.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forget his name.
The real dark, yeah.
Bill Duke.
Bill Duke, yep. Jack Kehoe was in this. Apparently, there was a scene that was cut out where it was it Danny DeVito was in it. There's a scene where it's cut out because if you'd seen this one, there was like this girl looks like a hooker kind of in the beginning, and she's the one that runs out on the cabbie. So she's looking for this guy named Joe. She's looking for this guy named Joe the whole movie. Apparently, in the original version that they cut, Pesci or Danny DeVito rather plays the part of Joe.
Let's see. The only woman I'm seeing in the cast right now, her name's Melanie Mayron. White woman?
No.
Okay.
Let
me go and look. Wiki, school wiki. All right, let's look at this. Yeah, 1976 was the movie.
76, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking up in IMDb right now.
Yeah, I forget what her name is. Yeah, because if you look in the credits, you actually will find Danny DeVito listed as Joe, even though he never actually made it into the movie. And I have yet to see the cut where he's in it, because the version I have, Car Wash, it doesn't have any deleted scenes or nothing. So I would love to see how they put them in there. Yeah, it had the Pointer Sisters in it as themselves.
Love that automatic on.
It was such a funny movie. You know, for being as simple as it is, the whole concept is just a bunch of guys working in a car wash. And yes, they did overplay the song "Car Wash" a bit.
Yeah, good song though.
Yep.
You were either tapping along with that song by the end of the movie, or you couldn't stand hearing it.
Yep. Danny DeVito as a character named Joe in deleted scene. Yep.
God, I think it's
a lot of people in this bitch.
Yeah, I think it might be Ren Woods Loretta. I think that's the character. Or is it Lauren Jones? No, that doesn't look right. Hold on, that could be her. No, it is Lauren Jones. That's just a very weird picture of her.
Working at the car wash.
You seen that one, Curtis?
Nope.
No, really.
Do you have any vices, Curtis?
Any what?
Any vices? Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you snort? Do you do anything? Do you have any vices?
Well, don't be telling me.
Well, no. I ain't trying to incriminate nobody because I'm a well-known pothead. Everybody knows that.
Right, yeah, absolutely, Wookie. Yeah, she might not be a hooker, but she was wearing the uniform.
I like to let people believe that I do whatever they want me to do.
No, I'm just saying if you did, this is a great movie to grab one of your vices. Just for instance, all right, this is the example. Say you like an ice cold beer. Go grab your 6-pack, 12-pack, whatever you like, and just sit back and enjoy the movie, man. It's a great fun watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? And Son of a Red Shirt, this is one of the things I always talk about when I tell people, like this whole ridiculous woke mentality with some of these people that you see in the movies or you see on Twitter right now was something that was actually around back then. And they had it in this movie. Granted, he was more of like a communist sympathizer and he was for the working man and blah, but it was some of the same talking points. So, I mean, that stuff has been around a lot longer than most people realize.
Mm-hmm.
Puff, puff, pass, Wookie. Yeah, man. People talking about representation and this, that, and the other. It's been around for years. Just ain't nobody been paying attention until now.
Pretty much.
Well, that's because social media gave those people a much louder platform to be on. Something that they're going to get heard more often than not.
What's going on,
Before
Bryce?
it was,
good to see you.
Before it was just them running their mouth somewhere. Out in the field or something and nobody cared. Yeah, what's going on, Brightest Day? Hello there. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. But yeah, they'd be running their mouth on a street corner or trying to pass out flyers and you just walk right by them like, yeah, really? Now they got social media where they can get their stupid messages out there to a lot more people a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because seriously, you're not going to see any of these people, any of them, watching, say, like, the Jeffersons or Good Times or, popular black comedy back in the day. It's like, oh no, everybody's white, everybody's middle-aged, everybody's this. Motherfuckers, go back and pay attention. It's always been there. I'm not trying to be negative, because, that's not really, when Tommy does his streams, that's not what it's about, but it's just pure stupidity that nobody's paying attention until now. It's like, oh, we ain't got none of this and none of that. Well, go look at your history before you start complaining.
Yeah, well, and I think Car Wash is a very good example of this when they talk about, diversity and inclusion. Look at Car Wash. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got people of Spanish descent. It's got black. It's got white. It's got just about everybody. It's got women. It's got men. It's even got somebody dressed up like a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, because come on, guys. Seriously, everybody on this panel should know this movie I'm about to mention. Okay? Tootsie.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman as a crossdresser. Uh-huh.
What was the other one? Tu Wong Fu?
Tu Wong Fu. What's her name? Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tu Wong Fu. It had Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, John Leguizamo, I think, was in it.
Yes.
They were all dressed up like women. You know, pay attention, people. It's there. Go look for it. And it's just entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. You only make it what you want it to be. To me, it's a way to
but here's the thing about those type of shows from back then. They didn't preach it. They didn't say, "Oh, well, you have to watch this because this is so, inclusive or this so that." They didn't have to.
No, it's a damn movie. It's a TV show. It's so many. It's music. It's so many different things. Okay, if people were paying attention long before they have started, they'd realize, oh, it's always been there.
It was a common gag to put guys in dresses.
Yeah, but it's not a gag no more because even RuPaul, the Great American Drag Race or whatever it's called, it's about cross dressing. It's about drag queens. Whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the PC term of it is, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah, it's not drag racer though because that's a total different sport.
No. Seriously, Jens, that's what it's called. RuPaul's Great American Drag Race or something like that. It was
Son of a Red Shirt. Yes, I love DC Cab. I have a copy of it. Yeah, I talk about that one all the time with Adam Baldwin in it.
Yep.
What's funny is speaking of Baldwin, he was in DC Cab, but he was also in this other movie called My Bodyguard. And what's funny is I started watching. You remember the original Meatballs with Bill Murray?
Yes.
Yeah.
The young kid that he brings back from their like the Greyhound station, where he's the
kid that was all alone.
Yeah, with the curly hair. He's the one who's in My Bodyguard also, and he's the one that hires Baldwin to protect him. What the hell's his name? Clifford in My Bodyguard.
Huh. Never heard of that one. But, my knowledge of old school films like that is very limited because, I wasn't but maybe the first real movie I remembered was Star Wars. I was 4 years old, but after I started hitting the double digits, 10, 11 is when I started paying attention. And this was like in the early 80s. So, a lot of these 70s movies I only remember by passing by. I know of DC Cab. I've watched Meatballs. I love it. Smokey and the Bandit. Love it. These older movies, but they're still great films. I've never seen DC Cab. Never sat down and watched it. No, one day I may.
Seen it.
Yep. Barbarian Brothers, Mr. T, Gary Busey, Bill Maher.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Maher's in it.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So, Tommy, I do have to ask. You normally start a show with a topic. What was it?
Today I was originally thinking about opening with Howard the Duck, but I wound up talking about like old toy stores instead because that was something else I've been thinking about for a while. like these old toy stores. So we were talking about all the different toy stores that were in the areas that we were in. What did we remember that's different about them then, as opposed to what they had now? We were talking about the incredible displays that they would have.
Well, it's very simple. They don't exist no more.
No, they are starting to come back. Like they did reopen a Toys R Us right outside of I believe it was Manhattan, and they said that they're going to open one more location somewhere else. So I know the company that holds the rights to KB Toys was talking about like relaunching it, but I don't know if they were talking about making smaller stores. Kind of like how Amazon is looking at like brick and mortar locations to pick up stuff.
Yeah.
KB Toys I think they're thinking about the same thing, like have mostly an online store, but have brick and mortar locations where you can actually go and pick the stuff up instead of waiting for it to be delivered to your home.
See, and we got a perfect place for that to happen right now. Not 4 blocks away, we've got an empty mall right now. The only thing that's really in it right now, there's a church in there, and they were using it for a testing site, and I think they may be still using it as a vaccination site. But Amazon could buy the entire building out, okay, and take their store owners from Amazon and give them brick and mortar spots in this building and a central pickup zone where they can order whatever they want and go pick the shit up. Or they can walk the mall like a normal shopping mall and go to each store and visit that way. Customer's choice, but give them that option. That would be the perfect place to try something like that out. It's not that big, because even I, in my decrepit state, could possibly walk it. It's not, like I said, it's not that big, but it'd be the perfect testing site for something like that.
Here's the thing, though, I wish that they would do when they consider building these brick and mortars. And I've realized that the main idea is to have a central location where people can pick up their stuff that they're ordering online. But what's wrong with having at least a little bit of stuff in the front for people to just come in and look, like to have like a mini showroom? Because like there was a lot of those places, like way back in the day, they had catalogs. Like you had like the Sears catalogs and this, that, and the other thing. And they actually had places like Sears stores where it was a small front store where they had a little bit there for people to go look in. And then the rest of the back of the store was all for people's orders through the magazine. So if they didn't want to wait for it to get delivered to the house, you could go out to these mini stores and pick up the stuff. Amazon could easily do the same thing. And I think like KB Toys, they could do the same thing too. They don't necessarily have to have a store stock like they used to, but have a little bit of stuff in there for somebody who walks in. Because what if you have somebody that walks in to pick up their package and you just happen to have something on your shelf that catches their eye that they didn't notice online? Now you could double your sale. You've already made one sale and they're there to pick it up, but now you just made another, impulse buy sale because you had something sitting there in your store.
Well, because of the COOF, brick and mortars are slowly but surely fading away. We're now entering that age to where everything is order online, delivery. People ain't wanting to get out and do nothing anymore. And some of them, they have good reason. I believe that because I'm one of them. But I'm still not at that point where I'm wanting my shit delivered to me. I want to go get it because to me, you're not going to be able to find what I want. Only I know what I want, and I'll know it when I see it. But there's a lot of people out there that's not able to do stuff like this, and there's wonderful ideas out there, but people are slowly implementing them. And it's just taking its time. It's all going to be. This is our future, guys. But we shouldn't rule out the brick and mortars because that's where money is made. That's where businesses thrive. Other than online sites, we're not so far out of touch with reality to where we think, "Hey, everything's online now. We ain't got to worry about it." Because no, everything is not online.
Well, there's still certain places that are actually doing I wouldn't say they're doing great, but I mean, you got places like Ollie's. I mean, Ollie's is another one that I don't know. You got to have it there because we have them down here in Southwest
No,
Florida.
never heard of it. Never
Really?
heard of it.
Wow. We have it down here in Southwest Florida. We got at least one or maybe two Ollie's. And it was something that started up north from what I remember, because the first time I had ever seen it was out in PA. And basically it's kind of like, Big Lots and stuff like that. It's like discounted merchandise.
Right.
So you can find a lot of good stuff in an Ollie's. And I see more of them popping up, even though, we talk about like brick and mortar dying out. Another thing you're starting to see a little bit more of is why you're not seeing like the big indoor malls like we used to see when we were kids opening up all over the place. You are starting to see more strip malls opening up. Mm-hmm. And exactly. There was a time in the early 80s when the malls, even though there were still plenty of indoor malls, their fascination with a lot of people started wearing up, and that's when you started seeing more of these strip malls starting to pop up. And then sometime in the 90s, the indoor malls became popular again, and the strip malls kind of faded out and started, a lot of them were like going bankrupt, or they were just like a lot of the stores were closing out and leaving.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
right now. We got one right now. It's called St. John's Town Center, and they've made it into a gigantic outdoor mall with apartment complexes and all kinds of retail spaces. It's like they've tried to make living areas with shopping within walking distance, which it's a great idea, but it's a big traffic headache also. Everything's outside. There's no indoor mall about it. You walk door to door. It's all strip malls conglomerated together. They've got high-end shops in there. They've got regular like Bed Bath & Beyond in there, Target, other things in there. But they've also got, like P.F. Chang's. They've got Outback. They got what I would call the higher-end restaurants in there also. I know Outback's not really, higher end, but you understand what I'm saying. Compared to a McDonald's, it is.
Oh yeah, like Longhorn Steakhouse, Outback.
Yeah. They've got they got Five Guys Burgers and Fries, McDonald's, Burger King. They got all kinds of shit in there, and they got all kinds of shopping in there. Which hey, I ain't got no problem with it. If that's where you want to go. Me personally, when it comes to stuff like that, games, collectibles, peripheral stuff like that, fuck it, I'm just going to order it and be done with it because it's easier for me. But there are people out there that want to go out and shop. Ain't no doubt about that. Hell, I love to shop. I wish I could go to a Best Buy right now and walk around and look, but you can't hardly anymore. Because
I remember at one point that they were actually stopping them when you went to go into a Best Buy, and they'd have you behind the little ropes. Well, what are you here for today?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, to look around the store. What the fuck do you normally come in the store for?
Yep, they wouldn't let you into the store. It's only curbside pickup. You basically order it online. You go pick it up. I'm like, oh, no, I want to see what the fuck you got. But no, I can go into a Best Buy now, but still, it's just that's the way these places are starting to go, and it's really, really heartbreaking. Our way of life is.
Well, here's my question to like everybody on the panel and like even the people in the chat. I mean, I've seen like the indoor malls come in favor and then out of favor. Do you think at any point that they're going to be back in again? What do you think it would take? What do you think, if you do think so, what would it take to make indoor malls viable again?
Amazon. Because Amazon's the king right now. Amazon's even beating out Walmart, okay? And Walmart was one of the biggest chains in the U.S. next to Target. And Amazon's got both of them beat. Because people can shop and not even have to leave their house. To the point to where even Walmart's got their own delivery service now, and I'm talking about more than just store pickup. Amazon's a king. That's the whole point of why I kind of ventured off into this part of the conversation, is because that's the world we're living in right now. Everything is online. Okay,
well, it won't be because when the vaccination card comes out and there's people not bothering that they don't care if they don't get the stuff delivered, they're going to start going to malls.
Well, yeah, because this one young lady, she lives over there with you, yeah, and she's somewhere over in the UK, but
yeah,
she's visiting over in London right now, I guess with some family, and she's doing random vlogs, and there's people out and about moving. It's like, man, there's more people than I thought, and some with masks, some without masks. So things are slowly becoming back to normal.
What's going on, Ancient One? Thank you.
It's the people, right? If you're gonna because the thing is all these stuff they're trying to mandate, it's against the law, and so it's basically you've got a choice, and if you don't want to do it, there's laws to say that you don't have to do it, but you just got to know which laws. And that,
because as a matter of fact, it's been on the news. I don't know how far it's wide and spread, but here in town, and all across a lot of places, thousands upon thousands of flights being canceled because there's no air traffic controllers. Because companies are requiring their ATCs to have the jab, and if you get it, you're required to stay off at least 24 to 48 hours to see what happens to you. So there ain't nobody at work, and flights are getting canceled.
Well, there's been a bit of as you say there, a bit of a backlash against the jab because to be a pilot, you have to be in prime condition. You don't have to be super athletic, but you can't have any problems with you, or else they won't let you fly a plane. They won't even let you drive a bus, never mind fly a plane. But some of them who took the shot was dying of blood clots or heart failure, some crazy stuff. Where it's and so most of them, as you say, they're like, no, well, I don't care, I won't fly, and. Yeah, I mean,
and real quick, Ancient One, thank you, man. Thank you for dropping that link out there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for dropping everybody's links, Ancient One. We all greatly appreciate it. But let's circle back around to this. So
sorry.
So you say Amazon, Jens? Do you think any way indoor malls will ever become viable again?
Oh, well, viable is a different word, but they'll become popular again, I reckon, because people, as you say, they do like to see products because to get stuff offline, it's all right if you know what product you're getting, but sometimes, as you say, you go to the shops to see products that you don't really know, that you've seen pictures of maybe, but until you've got it in your hands and had that sort of close inspection, you don't know the quality or whatever stats you need it to fill. So yeah, I think it'll come up because the thing with Amazon and all is big stuff and all is quite expensive to get that delivered. So it's all right for small stuff, but
I think personally, Amazon's and a lot of those other they take the experience of shopping out of it, and it just becomes another mundane exercise that you go throughout the day. You know what I mean? There's something different. It's just like ordering food online. Ordering food online and having it delivered to your house is cool for what it is, but it doesn't beat being able to go out to a restaurant to sit down and see what they have on the menu and be able to order that way. Because it's a lot different going to a place and the sights and the sounds, the smells, as compared to just like looking on a screen and say, okay, I'm going to order that and that. I mean, unless you know exactly what the food tastes like, if you're just ordering food from a place, you don't know exactly what it's going to be like, especially if it's a place you've never tried before. So.
Yeah. Well, it is one of them where even when you've got the menu there and pictures, it's like, usually I always find with takeaways, you're never going to get the stuff that's on the picture anyway. So, like, it is best to like go say like there you said, because smelling it is a good sort of like for food, you know, because like if it smells good, you're thinking, oh yeah, but if it smells a bit like
Yep. Curtis, any thoughts on about the indoor mall?
Well, hopefully they come back. I don't know if they will, but thankfully I was eating that whole time I was muted. I was freaking starving. You guys started talking about food too, so.
See, there you go.
Oh yeah, that was my prediction. Is food malls will be more popular or something.
Well, I remember they did that in the 90s. Remember when they started bringing all the food courts out? That was like, that was like early 90s when they started with all the food courts.
I forgot about that, yeah. So maybe that'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I like maybe like eventually when all these stupid restrictions are finally lifted someday in the future, maybe that's when people will be like, hey, you know, we should have like these places with all kinds of food in one area, and they have it in an indoor mall again, like they used to back in the day. That would be interesting.
Well, we do. We still have like in Hull anyway, because we've sort of like got places where you it's like not full or out, but some people are going, especially on the weekends and that, because that's where like them sort of food places make the money on the weekends, innit? Just before the Saturday night or Friday night booze up and that.
Yeah, ancient one was saying the same thing I was saying, and you do have a point. While ordering food as a delivery can be ideal, there is indeed something special about spending a moment at a restaurant when you and whoever else wants to spend a moment. Yeah, because you know what? You can have date night all you want, but when you have date night at your house and you're like getting delivery from like Pizza Hut or or God forbid, like Domino's or something like that, there's something just a little bit lacking there. And I'm pretty sure I've never seen like a Red Lobster or any place deliver. I mean, maybe at the height of the pandemic they did, but maybe. I kind of doubt it. You still got that up there? Thought maybe you had something else going on.
I still got DC cabs. I was looking for that food mall.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of things I think they possibly could do to bring indoor malls back, and like, you know, having gigantic food courts again could be one of them. The few indoor malls that I do know about, all of them do have smaller food courts. And they also have like those little breakaways throughout the mall, like, you know, like the Annie's rather, with the pretzels and like the small food booths. What would probably make sense that they do like some of the other malls do, like they have like the regular food court with all the regular places you eat, and then have like a snack court on another side of the mall.
Yeah.
There's this Princess Key, it's called. That is a big mall that we have, you know. And that, yeah. And like, yeah, that's opened and that.
Well, also, also with the food court situation, it was a it was a wonderful thing. Hey, I want a sub. Somebody else wants some Chinese food, but we can both eat at the same place. Um, but now the emergence of all the food trucks, also because you've got these courtyards in certain cities, man, that where all these food trucks go, it's just like a big restaurant. You just go pick out what you want. It's like a mobile food court. Works the same way. But food is food. Everybody's going to eat. Everybody's hungry. But when you're out shopping and you work up that appetite, well, guess what? You got this food court. You get to go sit and eat whatever you want. Anybody that you want. Anybody that you're with. You want a burger. You want some stir fry. You want a cheesesteak sub. Something. You've always got somewhere to go, and y'all can sit and eat lunch together. It was always a wonderful feeling. And as far as ordering out, nah. Because see, when I go out to eat, I want to go out to eat. I don't care if it's Olive Garden, Longhorn, Chili's, somewhere. When I go out to eat, I want to go out. I don't want to sit at home. I want to go out. But the way people have slowly started to progress through the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, I hate to say it, we've gotten lazy because, hey, I ain't got to do nothing. All I got to do is just get my phone and order it up, get on my computer, order it up, and it'll be right here. I ain't got to get dressed. I ain't got to do shit. We've gotten lazy. Because down in Orlando alone, man, there's at least 3 or 4 restaurants down in City Walk and Universal Studios that I love. Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. I love that place. Bubba Gump Shrimp. Awesome seafood. The Hard Rock Cafe. Awesome restaurant. There's even I don't even know how to describe it. It's a Burger King that's more than your standard Burger King. Basically, you can get burgers there that you won't find in any typical store.
Like an international Burger King or something?
Nah, not necessarily international. It's like, hey, you go to Burger King and say you want a mushroom Swiss burger. They got it. You want a jalapeno something, so on, guacamole burger. They got it. It's just, it's not your typical Burger King.
Well, you know what? If they went by the original, what became the Burger King standard eventually when they came up with the whole slogan, have it your way. I mean, you remember when that happened, like in the mid to late 80s?
Yes.
And they came up with that idea. Really, they should have had any condiment you could have wanted, because you should have been able to say, hey, look, I want pickles on my burger, or I don't want pickles on my burger. Hey, I want onions, and they actually had onions that they could throw on your burger. They had like all these options basically for somebody getting a burger. So quite honestly, to have peppers or anything like that, it should have been there to begin with.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. Like today, I had crystals for dinner. And I ordered them without onion. You can do that now. And then back in the day, McDonald's was my first real job. And we all used to be back there making the burgers and shit. People were going through, at the dawn of the drive-through. And it's like, oh, I don't want no pickles. I don't want no onions. I don't want mustard. I don't want this. I'm like, this ain't Burger King. We ain't making it your way. We used to joke about it all the time. But now it's like you should be able to go anywhere and get anything you want. That's why I love Five Guys, because if you want a mushroom Swiss burger, they've got mushrooms and they've got Swiss cheese. But you can't go anywhere and get something like that.
Well, you know what? That Ancient One actually brings this up in the chat, and it was one of the reasons that I liked the idea of the model of the food court in the malls, because it allowed people, like, let's say, just for example, like he's saying, it's unfortunate everyone in the chat doesn't live near together, or if we did, take all of us could go out to one place and have a moment together, like, and maybe we could have a meal together and everything like that. And that's something that a food court would allow, because you could have these people from all these different areas. Well, we get together. Not all of us are going to want to eat Burger King. Not all of us are going to want to eat pizza. Not all of us are going to want to eat Italian, or Chinese food or what have you. But when you go to a food court, Now you have the ability to bring all these different people from all these different areas that would like to be able to sit down and have a meal together, otherwise probably couldn't agree on one single place to go without somebody feeling a little bit left out because, well, I don't necessarily like this all that much. Everybody could have exactly what they want. And I think that was one of the special things about the food courts.
And you don't have that age, you have to have that age-old conversation. Okay, where are we going to go eat? Hey, let's go here. We can eat whatever we want. You know, it's a great idea. I love it. I would love to have just a standalone food court. Just make a standalone building food court without the mall.
I wish, son of a red shirt, I wish.
Yeah.
The algorithm does not love this channel. It does not. Last year, before my father passed, my very last stream that I did for this before I went on hiatus, it had something like, what was it, like close to 200 and it was either 230 or 240 views. It was pretty outrageous by the standards for my channel. On average, I would get maybe 120 to 170 some odd views per live. But lately, they've been kind of burying my channel, and yeah, it gets hit a bit. They take away views too. Last week's originally had something like 120 or 130 views. By the time YouTube didn't take views away, I think it's down to 100 even now.
If this is the right one, Tommy, 239 views a year ago.
Yeah, man, that sounds about right. It would have been sometime in September. It'd been like September 9th or 8th or something. Mm-hmm. Something to that number. Yeah.
Yeah, because the week before that was 128 views. The week before that was 119. And yeah, your last one, because after that, we just got the short videos after you got up there.
Mm-hmm.
239 was the final live stream before you went on hiatus.
Tehillim 29, what's going on? Welcome.
Yeah, my last stream I did, it was about politics, but it got no views, and it's like I don't get loads, but I usually get about at least 3 or 4 usually, but no views. So I don't know, like I got thingied. I got pushed out or.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Yeah, Ancient One. I'm not even sure who's going because I'm pretty sure Darius is not having a stream tonight.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I know. Death by Saber says he's going on later, but his is Pacific time, and I think he said it was 9:30
9 p.m. Which will be 9 o'clock. It'd be 12 o'clock here.
Yeah, 12 o'clock here. Yeah,
midnight Eastern.
I mean, I'd like everybody to stop by and check out DBS if they can, but that's hours from now. So,
yeah, 3 hours from now because it's now basically 9 o'clock Eastern. And if Darius went live, it would have been an hour ago. So yeah, he said about a week you won't see him around.
Yeah, he probably needs a break.
Maybe.
It's kind of one of those things, but I mean, like we're talking about these malls. I would love to see these malls open back up the way they used to be. Like I was saying, when I was up north, there was a few of them still going. Like there was the one up there. It used to be called Franklin Mills Mall, and now it's been renamed the Philly Mills Mall, which like whatever. But it's basically still the same as it was back then. It's still got it's got 2 food courts actually. It's got a smaller food court and then a larger food court. So it's an interesting place.
So many things gone, man. It's just hard to adjust.
No, well, you can put that in there at any point when we're ending that, Ancient One, whoever you want. Because, like I said, most of the other people that I normally would see going are not going right now. So, really, I could end up having a live stream towards the end of the week here in Australia. Yeah, Charlie's Philly Steaks. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a place here in the same mall I was talking about. It was called All American Hero. Oh, some of the best cheesesteak I've eaten. Now, granted, I haven't had a real Philly cheesesteak, but for Florida, it was damn good.
Is that the only picture they have for the mall, for the food court? It's Charlie Cheesesteak. I mean, you can only see like 2 restaurants, really. Like everything's Charlie's Philly Steak.
China
like,
Max.
Yeah,
That's such a strange name. That's like USA Max. But
yeah, what are we getting? Food or a car?
Place?
What do you... Philly Mall food. What is it?
that's that Philadelphia Mall. It used to be called Franklin Mills Mall, and now it's called the Philly Mill or Philadelphia Mills Mall.
Okay, you might come up with different pictures if you space Philly and Mill. Maybe. Oh. No. Unless this Charlie's place is like a staple in most malls. I've never seen
it is a staple up there because there's another mall. It's called the Chamonix Mall, and they have the exact same place in there. The one over in Jersey, or actually the other one in Pennsylvania, it's up in the Langhorne area called Oxford Valley. They have a Charlie's Philly Steaks in there. And I think they might have one in Quaker Bridge, which is in Jersey. Lotus Express. Yeah, you see at least one other one there.
Yeah, because around here, anywhere close by, you got to have at least one Panda Express in there.
And a McDonald's.
And a Sbarro's. I guess that's the right way to pronounce it. I don't know.
Arthur
but
Creatures.
The same place I was talking about, the All American Hero, had an offshoot that did burgers, and they called it Flamers. Never ate there, but I'm not about to eat somewhere named Flamers. That's just nasty.
Damn Flamers. I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
Damn it, Cletus.
Yeah, but like most of those food courts, great place to go and hang out with a bunch of different people. Because I remember when we would get together and we'd decide to go out, and we always couldn't all agree on a place to go. Like me and my friends, like we would get together. There would be about 6 or 7 of us to go hang out sometimes. And we never could all agree on one place. That's when they came up with these food courts, it was great. Because now we can all get whatever we want.
Oh, come on.
And maybe it's just me, but I think like the indoor malls offer opportunities to get businesses in there that you wouldn't normally see have a standalone anywhere else. Like maybe you would see a franchise restaurant that doesn't have a standalone brick and mortar store anywhere else, but they're available in a mall in that area.
Yeah.
One of the ones
cool to see that.
Yeah, like one of the ones is actually right off of the Jersey Turnpike. The last exit before Trenton, when I would come home, was 7A. And in that exit, they still have a Roy Rogers, which other than that Roy Rogers in that exit, there are no Roy Rogers anywhere else. Anywhere else, as far as I know in Jersey.
That's old school right there, yo.
Yeah, they've never closed it down. They've never changed the name. Even though Roy Rogers was bought out by Hardee's and all that a long time ago, they've still got the Roy Rogers name sitting on it.
You know, when I was a kid, my grandma would ask me what kind of drink I wanted, and she would make me the Roy Rogers, but obviously without alcohol. Just 7-Up and like the cherry or whatever. Is that what's...
Yeah.
That was so good.
Oh, shit. Florida Mall's got a Five Guys in it. I'm impressed. Chipotle? No shit, really?
Chipotle's owned by McDonald's.
Oh, no, still, I'm just... Oh, there's a place. I'm looking at like Florida food courts. They're showing a lot of stuff down in the Florida Mall. They got a place in there called Chicken Now.
Well, I would hope so, because you wouldn't want to have chicken yesterday. Imagine going to a place and order, hey, I'm going to Chicken Yesterday, and that's what I'm ordering. No.
Oh, no,
I don't want yesterday's chicken.
Chicken yesterday.
Like, yeah, I'm sitting here talking about restaurants. He's like, yeah, I would hope so.
You knew something stupid was coming.
Yeah, especially with the name. Yeah, I want some chicken now. It was better than chicken yesterday.
You know those giant corn dogs in like Carnival.
Oh,
yeah, those are always really good too. I don't know where else to get those.
Well,
I mean, I know they sell corn dogs at usually most supermarkets and everything like that, but yeah, like the real giant ones.
Yeah, those giant ones, yeah.
I know JJ likes them big, but
what the hell?
What happened?
What the hell, Tommy?
This is not my fault. I cannot be held responsible for anything that may or possibly may come out of my mouth.
I was hesitant on bringing it up, but
well, no, I'm bringing it to light right now. Okay, I had a visit from Tommy a few weeks ago, and we went out to lunch. Now, Tommy, would you please tell the audience what I had to eat?
Nothing.
All right, thank you.
You ate nothing?
I drank coffee.
Why didn't you eat?
Because all I wanted was coffee.
Okay.
Believe me, I offered multiple times.
Yeah. All I had was coffee because that's all I wanted.
Now my daughter ate more than enough for herself and him.
Oh, this is a cool looking place. Dapan. DAPAN. Dapan.
Guy Pan?
No, Dapan.
D-A?
Dude, hold on.
Like Japan, but the pan.
Who's sharing this screen? Because I'm about to overtake you.
Well, me.
He's typing it in right now.
You want me to stop screen? Yeah, share. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Google.
Because I remember there was one place used to be called Guy Pan.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
The Pan. Holy shit. Really?
The Pan. Yes. The Pan.
Is that Ryan Kennel? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, kind of looks like him.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Costco confirms food courts will be...
What does that say? Hall of Sandwich?
I was just thinking about those Costco food courts too, because those chicken
Earl
wraps.
of Sandwich.
Earl of Sandwich? I would have liked the Hall of Sandwich better. I wonder if Stephen Walton would work at a Hall of Sandwich. I heard that he makes a pretty mean sandwich.
Hey, I make a damn good sandwich too, but I ain't gonna work at no place because I used to run a fucking Subway. I kept my customer base because I didn't skip on the shit.
Yeah.
You were in there all kinds of suave, like, hey, baby, you want a sandwich?
No. Seriously, every Subway has a recipe they have to follow. When you say you want pickles, it's 6 pickles. If you want black olives, it's 6 black olives.
I can't imagine 6 LDGs. That's terrible.
Oh no.
One is okay. Like 6 of them, no.
No. But it's just, to me, I didn't give a damn. I just grabbed a handful and I put the shit on there. Like, oh, you want some pickles? All right, here you go, pickles. Black olive, cool. All right. I just loaded it on. I didn't care. And people love that shit. I got my regulars back that way. I've seen them 3 times a week, every week. Never fails. You keep the customer happy, they'll keep coming to your establishment. Yeah, it drove up food costs, but who cares? I was making the customers happy, which made the company money.
Well, yeah, usually though, like the little bit of extras and the condiments and stuff like that is not really going to break a company.
No. Yeah.
It's not like, say, a bartender overpouring on drinks. That will cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because drinks cost a lot.
That's very true. Alcohol ain't cheap, but when you buy food in bulk, it's really not cheap either, especially when you're trying to make money. But I didn't give a damn because I was the one making the orders too. I filled the orders every week for the truck when we got it. So I knew what we were going through. I knew how it was being used.
That's better than having wasted product too.
Oh yeah. I'd listen. Regardless of company standards when it comes to food. Now this goes for any place. I'd much rather you leave full and happy than come back and bitch at me. And that's anywhere. I don't care if it's Subway, Longhorn, Olive Garden, Chili's, Burger King, anywhere. If you leave full and happy, you've done your job.
Well, not only that. I mean, the number one form of advertisement, I don't care what they say, still to this day, is word of mouth. And it doesn't matter what you see on the internet. You can watch a million reviews on the internet. Who's the first person you're really going to listen to? It's going to be somebody like a good friend or something like that, or maybe a family member. Oh, would you ever eat at this place? Did you ever shop at this place? Well, what did you think? Did you see this movie? What do you think?
Exactly.
Word of mouth at a restaurant, especially. Holy shit! Because if you come back happy and you say, "Oh man, you got to eat at this restaurant, man," they take care of you. And I think that's another thing. It's kind of like missing what a lot of these places today. Like back then, like even the fast food restaurants, they would take care of you when you went to order.
Yep.
Now it's like, good God, you're lucky if you get what you ordered.
I say the same exact thing about live streams. No matter what live stream I'm on, at some point in time, I've always said this, and this is the truth. I know Tommy can agree with me on this. Jens can agree with me on this. Even you, Curtis, can agree with me on this. Without the chat, we wouldn't really have a show now, would we? We'd be just sitting here talking amongst ourselves. If it wasn't for the people in the chat, why would we be here? I know we could still sit here and talk amongst one another, and because we've done it all before. But, you ever want a channel to grow? Like Ancient One is doing, advertise it out. Maybe there's people in the chat that don't know about other people's channels or whatnot. But also, if you got your friends, your family, hey, if they're interested in YouTube, and it's like, and they like certain pop culture things, check out this channel, check out that channel. Word of mouth. It works all the same way. Don't matter if it's a YouTube channel, a restaurant, clothing, pharmaceuticals, it doesn't matter. Word of mouth.
Yeah, if the product's good, it does get out there.
Big super chat from Ancient One. Colossal size bag of premium carrots and premium lettuce for Tommy, the guinea pig, his wife, and the guinea pig pups, so that they can week out of complete happiness. Thank you, Ancient One. I got to finish that song. I'm over halfway done working on it. I've got 2 songs in the works that I'm working on. One is for Makani, and it's the King of the Camel Toe. And then I'm working on my Pig World Order remake of NWO by Ministry.
Oh, okay. Are the pigs singing it? Are they behaving long enough to do it?
No, well, I actually have a section where they're squealing that I'm going to add to it. You know, in Ministry and in the song they've got that hip, 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 hip during the NWO song. It's just like part of the main part of the beat. I'm going to replace that with them squeaking. So it's just weak, weak, weak. Yeah, just I'm gonna replace the squeaking with that. The hip with the squeaking. And, I already redid the lyrics. I already redid the whole part where it says "Pick World Order."
Reappropriated the lyrics.
Well, basically, what I've done is I've created a parody. So
you've reassimilated it.
I have assimilated the song.
Let's see what we got.
Lady Toriel, what is going on? Welcome,
Lady Toriel. Great to see you, darling.
Yeah.
I hope you are feeling better.
Always a pleasure to see that nice woman.
I was so happy that she finally got the DVDs that Stieg had won. God, what was that? Over a month ago.
Good films off. They're waiting for.
All right. Well, Tommy, I hate to do this to you, bro.
Well, no, I'm getting ready to close out.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting ready to close out in a few minutes. I need to get something to eat.
Well, I've been sitting here feeding my face the entire time we've been talking about food and with a full belly is.
No, I got to run out to the store real quick. So, I mean, luckily luckily the store's 24 hours. You know, so no
Tommy
big
got
deal.
a dip.
That's so rare.
Tommy got a dip.
Yeah, well, I got a spare car that I can actually use. I don't have to wait for somebody to get home to use their car.
Nice.
The old man's car is still sitting here for now, so I'm going to take advantage of it while it's still here and run out and grab what I need to grab. Otherwise, I'll never get the chance because she's working doubles all the time. So I want to thank everybody that has come through today. Ancient One, Lady Toriel, Son of a Red Shirt, thank you for hanging out and adding so much with all the commentary. It's been awesome. Hill 29, thank you for coming by. I know Bone was in here earlier. Wookie was here. Chaos Hoy was also here, hanging out for a long time. Shifty Gizm was also here as well. Keck 44, Brightest Day. RR was here also. Seen RR here. CJH was also hanging out for a while. Thank you all so much, and everybody else that has come by. I mean, seriously, you guys add the commentary. You make it a lot more fun than it would be if we were just up here talking to one another. Not that that's not fun. It can be a lot of fun, but it's so much fun, more fun with your involvement. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank everybody that's been on the panel tonight. And, you know, let them know where they can find you and what you got going on, starting with Jens. What's going on, Jens?
Well, I'll probably be doing a live stream tomorrow. I don't know what subject about, but yeah, probably. Well, if it in, I'll get it onto the subject of that. And and I've got a Twitter account, 27A Pedersen, and my YouTube, Jens Peder. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I take it. The soy thing is kind of coming up again too.
Well, when it don't ever, it's been a plague of my life. Since but as I say, my last stream, even though I did get onto a little bit of there was half of it was. So to talk about the other half was politics, but like as I say, no views, and I think that is strange because as I say, I usually will get about 10 to 15 views if it's like half decent streaming that, and like so usually you'll get like about 2 or 3 views just because people will be like just checking it out, you know. And if they're not like, but I didn't even get that. Like, I need to check it to see if I've got any views up on that stream. But it said no views, and I'm thinking, no, I should at least have got 1 or 2 views by now. But
Well, Jens, to be fair, most of the community are not really political people. If they are, it's not something that's ever talked about. And the only political person I know of is Moira, and you know, it's not a popular subject amongst current circles, but because my roommate, she's been trying to get into YouTube a little bit, and she's a real political person. And same thing, you know, you got to find your niche before you can start going off in that direction. You want to talk about your soy nerds? Go right ahead. But you know, politics is a completely different area.
well, I like a bit of both, mate. So I'll keep doing them. Never mind about the views. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, it was a bit strange though. You'd have thought you got 1 or 2, you know, just to see what. But there again, though, it is like depending on what the stories was about.
Yeah.
I really talked about put more detail about the stories, but it was a bit of a rush stream, so I didn't detail the stories. But I'll have to like detail the stories a bit more on the information like bit.
All right. Well, JJ, what do you got going on?
Not much of nothing. What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You'll find me a little bit of everywhere and a whole lot of nowhere. Under normal circumstances, Mondays you'll find me here, 8 o'clock over on Darius's when he's streaming. Tuesday over on Chaos Central at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Chaos List. Usually on Wednesday nights I've been doing a random movie review. I'm not doing one this week, but it will continue next week. Fridays over on TWTG Content or Chris's channel for Cards Against Humanity, and Sundays in 2 different places over on Chris Knight's channel, The Real Review 2000 at 5 p.m. Eastern for the weekly wrap-up, and 11 p.m. Eastern over on Haunstar with Chris Knight. We're doing a new show called Name That Tune Tryouts. If you ever wanted to be on Haunstar's show, which is Name That Tune, we're doing a tryout show. You know, it don't mean nothing. Just come up, try it out, see if you know it, like it. You know, just have a great time. Every once in a while, Chris will throw in a Jackbox game night here and there. So come and check that out. Thanks for having me, Tommy. And I apologize for being late, but you know, life takes precedence.
There is no late, man. This isn't a job. This is fun. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like fun when we're talking about people who are duck phobes, as Martin. But
Duck phobes. I'm glad I missed that.
I couldn't help it. It's not my fault. But no, it's all about having fun. It's all, you know, to have a blast. I mean, that's what we're here for, to talk about those things that we like. It doesn't matter what time you arrive in. It's just, you know, as long as we're able to talk about these things, that's all that matters. So
doesn't matter how late you are, as long as you come.
As long as you make it to the party. Curtis, let everybody know what you got going on.
I've got the French Connection probably going to come up next. I'm planning on doing that next, and that's pretty much it. Just been taking a while just because in my mind I'm perceiving it as work, even though I want to do it. I hate it. I always have this problem. I perceive it as work, and it's hard for me to start. doing something, you know. So I'm just kind of struggling with that right now. I think it's just so much work outside of that that's affecting me. So just life.
Yeah, they're going to say the French Connection, though. Great car chase scene and that.
Character scene? What? Oh, car scene? Yeah.
Yeah, car chase scene and that.
Yeah, it's a movie, The French Connection.
Yeah.
JJ,
were there actually any French people really connecting though?
Not unless it was a French version of the Centipede, or I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm assuming I'll like it because Gene Hackman's a great actor.
Yeah. Hey, and as I say, there's one of the best car chase scenes like recorded in history.
I feel like I've seen parts of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I've seen that on videos or something. So we'll see if I recognize anything.
My apologies, Curtis. You know, you're more than welcome to say, "Way to go, Captain Obvious."
But you know what? Once again, Curtis, thank you for being here. Yeah, you know, whether you're on the panel or whether you just show up in the chat, every time you come by, it is greatly appreciated. And I so love getting you on these panels and be able to talk with you a little bit. I mean, I know sometimes you're not maybe in depth with every single subject, but everything you add is always helpful. And just in case, you know, you're watching this on the replay, Curtis, JJ, and Jens's links are all listed in the description, so be sure to stop by their channels and check that out. If you are catching this before it's too late tonight, be sure to stop by and check out Death by Saber at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific for Star Wars and Hosts. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out. You all make this so much fun. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it each and every single week when you guys do this. It's so much fun, and I can't wait to have more discussions. One of the discussions I want to have is something that was brought up last week that I wanted to do because unfortunately I had lost my internet this weekend, and I didn't get it back until late Saturday, so I didn't have as long to prepare for tonight's stream as I normally would, but I was going to talk about Silverhawks at some point. I decided I'm going to save that for next week, along with a couple other topics that people have been talking about in the chat. I've been paying attention to what you guys say in the chat, and I want to hit some of those topics that you've been talking about in the chat. I have talked about some of these in the past on my Talking Toys, but it's time to do it on Going Old School Retro Discussions. So next week, we're definitely going to have Silverhawks, and we're going to have at least one other toy line and a movie as well. So we're going to have a few topics for next week. So stay tuned. I hope to see you there. Remember to make sure you share everything out every single time. And when you do, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And we are going to take you out the same way that we brought you in. Be sure to pay attention to the chat. Anybody, if they've got the rating hashtag, be sure to go wherever they're suggesting to go, whether it's Azalea 22's stream, whether it's somebody else's stream. Be sure to go there and leave the hashtag guinea pig rate. And we will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.